Go check us out live. You can watch our stream at a variety of places. I recommend sasportstar.com, but our YouTube channel is perfectly fine. And you can go to Facebook Live. You know, Facebook Live is also great because you can throw your comments up. We can see them immediately. But wherever you are, thank you for joining us. Don't mind them brake lights. We'll get you to work. I'm going to have fun today.
Yeah.
There's do you watch The Office?
No, but I've heard great
Office
things.
Fan?
No, wouldn't say I'm not a fan.
I wish I could watch all of The Offices over again. I watch 2 or 3 episodes of The Office every day. It's just one of those things that I use it. It's my background noise. I put it on when I'm going to sleep. But there's an episode where Michael Scott, the manager of The Office, asks everybody to roast him. He wants to host like a celebrity roast. Okay. But it goes south because they're saying some pretty tough things. Well, when he announces that don't hold back, just roast me, be ready. And there's a scene where Kevin, one of the accountants, is like, oh boy, could not wait to get. I heard the news last night about 5:30 that the University of Texas and the 40 acres would like to come play at my house, have a play date. That the University of Texas and that other school on the other side of the Red River, our shared enemy, would like to come to the SEC.
Yeah, I love it.
We're going to talk a lot about that. There's so many different angles here, and there's good stuff and bad stuff. There's old rivalry and old hatreds and new rivalry and money out the wazoo. Lots to talk about there. The Cowboys in training camp. We heard from Jerry Jones yesterday in an hour long. Very typical Jerry.
He did an hour?
I think it was by the time he went Q&A and all that, it went well over an hour.
Good night.
On the tennis courts there at Oxnard. What struck me more than anything is the emotion that he brought. You know, certainly we know he loves the Cowboys and bleeds silver and blue, but I've never seen him break up on the stage.
You were asking during, before we came on, what got him teared? Oh, I got it. That's my fault. Rookie mistake.
Oh, we're still figuring out the new Sports Star studio. So if you're here,
we got it.
So to see him get choked up like that in a very familiar place. I think Jerry, I heard it put. He knows there's not a whole lot more bites at the apple. He's getting down to the end.
When you say the end, are you talking about the Cowboys window or his window?
His window.
Okay.
His onward control of the Cowboys, because he's never going to relinquish the Cowboys. They're always going to be his.
It'll be in this family for 200 years.
But and you said family, but with every passing year, Steven has taken more and more control. This is more and more. It's more Steven's team this year than it was last because his fingerprints are on it.
It should be though.
Yes. And I think Jerry realizes, like, man, I kind of like being on that big old boat. I don't really, enjoy or want to come into the office every day. He's earned this stuff.
Right.
So I think he knows that my part on the Cowboys is waning and I don't have a lot of time. And this COVID thing got in the way. And you hear Steven talk about the mistakes, the evident mistakes that everybody knew as how they handled the Dak Prescott contract negotiations. And then you hear Jerry talking about how he handled the Jimmy Johnson firing. That's a very retrospective man. That's a man who sees that last door at the the last door you go through. He sees it. He sees the end and needs the Cowboys to be successful. There's a yearning there. And the concern there is if they're not successful, Mr. Sunglasses, Mike McCarthy, might be out of a job a lot quicker.
Leave his sunglasses alone. Hey, so, okay, you brought up Jimmy Johnson. If that's the case, if he feels like he's admitting that, okay, maybe I did some things wrong, then was there a follow-up of, okay, when are we putting him in the Ring of Honor?
There was a question regarding that. And what Jerry said was, I think, a very appropriate answer. I don't want to upstage the Hall of Fame. So let's not talk about this right now.
Fair.
He'll be in the the Ring of Honor next year. I think we can just about guarantee it. The very retrospective nature of Jerry at the State of the Cowboys because he's always excited. I mean, when he shows up to camp, this is his baby. This is his toy. Everything else is secondary to his guys, his team, and he loves being in Oxnard. He loves that feeling of the bubble. I mean, they've always had a bubble in Oxnard. They've always, they live in this resort. No one can come and nobody else can come and go. He always has a good time, but to see that the end is near and the pressure is on.
Yeah, when he's talking about I'll do anything what did he say? Humanly power.
Yeah,
to win a Super Bowl. I mean, which we already knew, but when you're coming close, you want that title to come you want it regardless. This is your baby. This is another one of your children. But he would like it while he's still up in the press box and not on that yacht.
Absolutely. Yeah. You can just feel that sense. And I know that when he hired McCarthy, everything was happy and there was no COVID and there was a 5-year plan. Well, last year shortened that plan by a year, at least, maybe 2. So then it became a 3-year plan. And now we come in and COVID's still hanging around and everybody's paid, everybody's healthy. We don't got any issues. I have a feeling Jerry and McCarthy had a nice talk, like, the time is now.
Let's get it.
Because I do believe the next head coach of the Dallas Cowboys is already on the roster. I think Dan Quinn, if things go bad, Dan Quinn could easily just move office.
As a Cowboy fan, you good with that?
No, I'm not good or bad with it.
You're just saying that's what it is.
I just feel like it's kind of like I recall the last or the time before this one when you had Wade Phillips. And Jason Garrett, you knew Garrett was already the next head coach was already in the building. And Wade Phillips told us.
The light bulb just went off. I got you.
Wade Phillips told us right here on ESPN San Antonio years ago, like when he was watching TV and saw that his offensive coordinator just signed a deal and getting paid more than he was, he knew. He knew the writing's on the wall. I mean, I'm out of here.
Garrett was making more than him at that time?
It was right around there.
And I remember they paid him big money because of the Ravens.
Yeah.
Because the Ravens wanted him.
He knew right then, and I know McCarthy, even though he's happy to have Dan Quinn, when you bring a former successful head coach into the building and you're on tenuous ground, and he's a vibrant guy, and the owner went and got everything he wanted in the draft. This was Dan Quinn's draft. He got everything. You know what I mean? We draft defense. We draft speed. You need a free agent. Know anybody you like? Yeah, bring in one of your guys. Let's go get Kazee here. So Dan Quinn got everything he wanted.
Great take, Jim.
McCarthy is dealing with it. We're also going to talk Olympics. We're a day away, and man,
get out. That's my Olympic take. Tokyo is like, get out. We don't want you here. You're bringing COVID over here. We're already on a high alert over here. Get out. I can't even get excited because I'm worried about, and rightfully so, COVID is more important than sports. We know that. But I can't get excited about it because that's the only updates we're getting.
Right.
Is up with 2, 3, 70. And then, Carl says the gymnastic team moved out.
They're not even staying in the village. They went and got a nice hotel.
So do you have to leave all of the condoms that they leave you there at the village, or do you get to take those with you to the hotel? I would like to think. I actually read. It's 7 in the morning, Rudy.
No, Rudy, it's 7 in the morning. Good thing to bring up. There's a couple things when we talk Olympics that are consistent with every Olympics, even with COVID. You bring together 2,000 virile, nubile,
in shape,
fit athletes that have been quarantined and getting prepared for the event of their lifetime, and that event is done. What else you gonna do? So in every Olympic,
right,
they have hundreds of thousands of condoms that they make and give away. And
they're like in a fish, like, your coffee table, they're in a bowl.
They're just there. And some of them are collectibles. I've actually seen a couple of them. They have wrappers that I've seen a Brazilian couple that were for sale. Somebody threw some up on eBay. And they have the Olympic rings on them. There's so many jokes there. But yeah, so they're not only collectible, but they're, useful.
Yeah.
But normally they have them available, like in the common areas, and go grab a handful. I guess I don't know how they distribute them. But this year, because of COVID, they're holding them back. They're going to give them all out at the end of the Olympics. So they've become a collector's item.
Gotcha.
And then we haven't even gotten into the
cardboard. They don't even
beds.
Want y'all around each other this year.
This year, yeah. But once your event's done, they should have 2 Olympic villages.
The
one village for the currently and ongoing quarantined as they prepare for their event. And then there should be a big curtain and like disco lights and foam parties.
I've never been to a foam party.
No, I haven't either. I'm not sure how much I think I would really enjoy it at the time.
Nobody wants to see me in wet clothes.
But as soon as it's over, I'm just in
what
wet
do you
clothes.
Do? Yeah, I'm in wet clothes. My shoes are mildewed. No, I'm good on a foam party.
So you got the Euro foam parties on one side of the village,
right,
the party area, and then you got the athletes that are they should have the two sides. Once you've competed,
go to the foam.
Head on the other side
to the foam.
Grab a handful of condoms.
Yeah. Go hit your bowl, hit your little bowl, and then head to the foam.
Head through the vapor lock and get into the party.
My goodness. Yeah. So what's the Olympic update? What is it? What are we talking? Softball won. Our women won. They're 2-0.
Yeah.
What else?
The head of the Olympic opening ceremonies committee.
Okay. Oh, yes. You told me about this.
Was relieved of duty the day or 2 days before the actual opening ceremonies because of a Holocaust joke that he performed in a 1998 comedy routine.
Wow.
There's no statute of limitations on being a bigot.
No,
no. So I'm not.
But it was a comedy routine.
Something like, yeah. So, yeah.
98.
It's been
21 years ago.
It's been 21 years ago. And certainly times have changed. But like I said, we knew in 1998 you don't make Holocaust jokes.
No, 23, yeah.
But the culture is such.
That's never a good joke. Even in comedy, that's never a good joke. We're talking about
so this dude, they knew this was out there. This isn't anything that's new. Someone
found it.
Somebody in the Olympic Committee knew. But they realized when they found out, we can't fire the dude. We got this whole ceremony thing to go. So I have a feeling yesterday they let him go right before the big deal.
Wow.
I mean, so I have a feeling they went through their final walkthrough. This dude's boss says, everything good, man? Is this as good as it's going to get? And he turned and said, yeah, I think it is. He goes, yeah, well, can you come with me to my office real quick? Since you got this all done, you're comfortable that it's all going to go off without a hitch 2 days beforehand.
That's not a coincidence. They're like, yo, we got to get through this. Then
they let him bust his ass for an entire extra year. And I guess he got paid. So I guess he should be happy. Yeah. And then to CYA themselves, they fire him 2 days before. And he should have never been hired. I mean, in these kind of positions, you don't get a one strike. You know what I mean? You don't know whether it happened in 98, 2008, 78. You make Holocaust jokes? Sorry, bro.
You're gone.
Sorry.
They always fire you after you work.
Oh, yeah.
Like to say
that's like getting fired on a Friday afternoon. This was the equivalent of the Friday afternoon fire before the Sunday show.
My last 9 to 5, 2008, they fired me on a Friday, a Friday after work. And then had the nerve to tell me, don't go back to your cube. We'll mail it to you. And ended up keeping my iPod.
What?
Yeah, they kept my Apple iPod. You know what I mean? Like, I cried the whole way home. I just found out I was having a baby. I was having my second child, and like 2 weeks later, they canned me on a Friday. Dude, I wanted to burn that building.
That's why
down. I wanted to burn it down.
Mr. Rudy, we'll walk you to the door.
Yeah. Like, I gave y'all 10 years of my youth, and I can't go back to my desk. Anyways, I digress.
That's the Olympic dude. It's 6 years of work.
Yeah, they're like, okay, you done?
That looks pretty good. Is there any concerns that you have about no? Can you come with me to my office real quick?
That's horrible.
Yoshi,
that's horrible.
Yoshi, go ahead and get that security guard. You guys come to my office. We got something.
They're like, does 98 ring a bell? What? They said press play. You remember saying this?
You consider yourself a funny man?
Yeah.
Because you're not a comedian anymore. Were you a comedian back then?
Yeah.
Because that might be your only out.
Are you a racist? Are you a bigot? You're like, no, absolutely not. Press his play.
Prove it. No, you don't want us to.
Is that you? It looks like you. Sorry, yeah, don't get your stuff. We'll mail it to you.
Yeah, don't worry about that iPod. We'll take care of that for you. I get here early in the morning. This is our day 4.
We're day 4
of the brand new San Antonio Sports Star. And today wasn't any worse than yesterday. Waking up, the alarm.
No, it wasn't bad.
But the That 4 a.m. alarm, that goes off, man. And for the last 2 days, I will admit that when it has gone off, I couldn't figure out why it was going off.
You're kind of like in a zone,
Yeah,
twilight zone.
like, why is the alarm going? And what time is it? And what's
Yeah.
going on? And then you hit the alarm. I'm like, why on earth would I have set an alarm for this early in the morning?
Right.
Because it still doesn't feel, it's not routine yet.
But you have a cool alarm. I don't know if you can explain it.
Well, I got a clock that shines the time up on the ceiling. And in fact, I can focus it and it can shine it just about anywhere if I want it to. So that's good and bad.
That's dope.
Well, it's good and bad.
Okay.
Because you don't want to always know what time it is in the middle of the night. Because if you know what time it is, then you start counting back and thinking, if I go to sleep now, that's 3 hours of sleep. You don't want to know that. Sometimes it's better just to wake up and go, oh, I woke up too bad. Let me go back to sleep, and not know that you only got like 18 minutes left.
I hate that.
Know? So I'd rather just go back to sleep and be shocked by the alarm than know, well, what the hell? 18 minutes? What's the point?
Yeah.
So this morning it went off, and I get up and go, and I arrive, and there's like a smoke coming out of the top of the building, like the chimney. And I'm trying to figure out what the work is. And it's Carl. Carl was here. He had like 8 computer banks open. He was running back and forth, writing stuff down on a clipboard. See, what he endeavors to do all night long is to make sure that you, on your way to work, are fully informed with all the sporting headlines, so that when you sit down, turn on your computer, and then waste the next 45 minutes like we all do, drinking your coffee and just seeing how everybody's night was, you'll have the conversation ready. So what we do is have Carl put all that together, and it is time for the 411 and the 210.
DJing, mixing it up.
All right, hey, did y'all hear that? Awesome, hey, because I would like a little transistor radio in here just so I know that we're going out over the air.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes I'm a little concerned. I trust everything, but I don't actually have a radio in here, so I should get one. And I should apologize to you, Rob. I gave you a little bit of flack for calling it the countdown. I realize now you are Ron Burgundy, and I had it as the countdown in the rundown. So apologize. I did fix that, and you got it right the first time. It is the 411 in the 210.
You throwing shade at me?
No. I'm apologizing for the shade yesterday.
Okay. Because you did throw shade yesterday.
Yeah, because I wrote it down wrong. Yeah.
No, I will admit my issues, and I do, in fact, read only and everything on the copy.
I'll put a question mark in there next time and see
do.
what happens. All right. So headline 2, you already mentioned it, Rudy. The USA team gymnastics decided to skip on staying in the Olympic Village and will instead stay at a local Tokyo hotel to keep their circle close. However, to answer your question, another one related headline that I didn't have prepared is that in the Olympic Village, they used beds that are only supposed to hold the weight of one person. Anti-sex beds in the Olympic Village. So maybe, I don't know, you're onto something there.
How much do they figure one person weighs? What is the median or average weight of your common Olympian?
Great question. I'm going to go 1.
I think they were trying to make it where if you were 350 on the weight of the bed, it crushed.
Well, I understand that, but when you say it's for one athlete, like one gymnast does not equal one power lifter.
Right.
Yeah.
So is it weighted to like 350, or do the power lifters have to? Do they get sex?
I don't
because
know.
They get a regular bed.
I don't know if TMZ went into that kind of detail. They just knew the story.
Well,
you're going to have to come in earlier, Carl. I need answers.
Olympic committee must don't know I'm cool with the floor.
All right, headline number 2.
I'm a savage.
The NHL had their expansion draft for the Seattle Kraken, and Seattle reveals their 30 players they selected in their inaugural roster. So Key Arena will finally be back open again for some consistent hockey. And they obviously, of course, hope to have an NBA team in Key Arena again at some point.
Do we have a logo? Do they have
they have a really cool logo?
Is it nice?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I want to see it. Y'all got to show it to me during the break.
We'll pull that up. I'll tell you what. Go ahead, Carl.
Sure. Okay, yeah. I was waiting for you to tell me what. All right, and headline.
I didn't want to interrupt the headline. We got to get to the 411.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, headline 0. The Lakers are already leaking out to the media they're interested in above-average players, and the reports are that they are interested in adding Russell Westbrook or Chris Paul. And in related news, I'm interested in getting $1 million. So, however it gets to me. All right, that's what you need to know in San Antonio. It's the 411 and the 210.
Carl Schoening on the
my
call.
brother.
Couple things out of that.
What were you going to say about the Kraken?
First of all, the Kraken logo.
Is it nice?
It's awesome. But in a little bit deeper with the NHL,
Yeah.
I love the expansion draft. I think the expansion
You're giddy
draft
about this. You've been
needs
talking
to
about
be-
this for 2 days.
what needs to be utilized. Well, there's a couple things about the expansion draft for the teams that are offering their players that I find very intriguing. It's interesting that they have to publicize the list of players that are available.
I wouldn't like that if I was a player.
But it does show where you stand.
It lets you know, like, damn,
yeah,
I got some work to do this offseason.
There's something about me that I'm either getting paid too much or my contract's too long or whatever it might be that they don't like me. I think to eliminate that kind of situation, every 3 years in every major league, you make available 10 dudes, 10, 15 guys. And let everybody, I mean, some years it might be good. Some years it might be bad. But you would have the opportunity to kind of shuffle your roster around without true issues. Maybe even the salary doesn't even matter. But most of these guys aren't getting paid that much anyway. But if they are, if you do put them up, I don't know. We'd have to figure it out. But I like the idea of shuffling the teams around a little bit.
But I like the idea as well. But do you want them to be only the bottom feeder teams, only the catfish that get in on the draft? Or is everybody eligible to get in on the draft?
Everybody got to get in on the draft, every team.
Okay.
But maybe it's an inverse order kind of thing. Your worst record gets first pick, kind of like the draft.
So NBA, I give every team every 3 years, I give you 3 guys, 12 through 15, throw them in the pot,
throw them out,
and we draft them.
And well, let's look around because, especially in the NBA,
like
it is situation and fit.
Cameron Payne looked it seemed like he was a bum, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then next thing you know, he ends up in Phoenix. Now imagine him being in an expansion draft, because every situation is gonna be different. Some coaches may like Cameron Payne, some might be like, you'll never get on the floor for me. So it just depends. So I can dig it.
Because we don't have time, and Carl will disagree with this, but the Spurs do not have time for Luka Šamanić to get to where he's gonna go. There's just the Spurs can't wait. He's got legit talent.
Yeah,
there might be what the Spurs is looking for, and on a roster sitting at 11, not getting any playing time, but behind 2 dudes that are legit ahead of him. But this guy will never get time, and there's no need for this team to invest any time or effort in this player other than practice time. Shuffle it up.
The last expansion draft, Gerald Wallace was drafted from Sacramento and became known as Crash there in Charlotte Bobcats. If you remember, old Charlotte
career.
Bobcats.
He was just a workhorse.
He was into the bench Sacramento guy, and he became the first star for Charlotte. So that kind of stuff happens.
Yeah, you find a dog like that's willing to work. It's not about expansion. I mean, you would just find a guy that would fit on your team, and everybody's a little bit happier. And I'm all about happiness, Rudy.
Yeah, I mean, look, a PJ Tucker would have been in an expansion draft, drafted like 39th, ends up in the G League, ends up overseas, ends up on 5-6 teams. Now he's a champ.
We've run really long.
Oh yeah,
there's nothing wrong with that.
Okay,
we're gonna head to break. Coming back, gosh, I'm excited to talk about this. So the University of Texas and the OU would like to join the SEC, would they?
Is there you horns up or you horns down? Can I do horns down?
No, you can't do that.
I can't do it on. I can't do it on
Big
Facebook
12, you do
Live.
that hurts their feelings. That hurts their feelings.
What's y'all's hand motion?
Thumbs up.
There's thumbs up. Okay.
Giggle. And if you put the thumbs down, it hurts our feelings. Yeah, that's a penalty. That's
don't put that on Texas. That's not them.
It's your right hand so you can show your class ring. Isn't that right? Sometimes.
Not everybody got
it makes
a class
sense.
ring.
I didn't know that, but yeah, that makes sense.
That's what. I'm a closet Aggie. Not really. I love Aggies. I just went to Texas State. I would have probably gone to Texas A&M if.
You have to be a part of R&R.
Yeah,
it's prereq.
That was part of the interview.
Oh yeah,
he was like, Rudy, before we get started, horns or Ags?
Because I
looked around the room, I saw a lot of maroon. Aggies, what do you mean?
Rudy said, giggle.
Exactly.
Coming back, let's talk the SEC. The car wash is going down in SEC land as all the coaches have gathered together to talk about the upcoming season, and the bomb dropped. About 5 o'clock, the Houston Chronicle told us yesterday that Texas and OU are in discussions to leave the Big 12 and possibly join the SEC. Let's get into it. We'll get next. This is R&R in the Morning, and you are on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Sports Center is brought to you by Kielbasa Slow Crafted Sausage, available at your local grocery stores.
I'm James Pudger, and in Major League Baseball, the Rangers fell the Detroit Tigers 4-2, a series they'll try and avoid being swept in when they finish it today at noon, a game you can catch right here, brought to you by New Brakes Mobile Brake Repair. The Astros couldn't finish off their sweep of the Indians as they fell 5-4 despite Jose Altuve hitting his third homer in the last two games. They'll have the day off today. In college football, according to a report from Brent Zwerneman of the Houston Chronicle, the Longhorns and Sooners have reached out to the SEC about joining the conference. And Jason Whitley of WFAA in Dallas says, after notifying the Big 12 early next week, Texas and Oklahoma will send a letter to the Big 12 Conference stating that neither school will renew their media contracts when they expire in 2025 and will petition the SEC for membership. I'm James Pledger for San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
At Thomas J. Henry, our sole focus is to help injured clients rebuild their lives. If you've been hurt, don't wait. Start your claim today at tjhlaw.com/radio. That's tjhlaw.com/radio. San Antonio, Texas.
Hi, Tom Bodette for Motel 6, leaving the light on for the three-dimensional soccer fan. Those cardboard cutouts were feeling a little flat. They didn't even yell goal for as long as possible when we finally scored. Well, while the cardboard you is packed away, the real you can head to the next road game. Motel 6 will help you get back into the action with clean, comfortable rooms at a great low rate. I'm Tom Bodette for Motel 6, and we'll leave the light on for you.
Welcome to Texas, where your backside will sizzle like bacon when you get in your car, unless you go to Mother's Window Tint, home of the Tint and Alarm Special, where you can also buy a new car stereo. Since 1984, Mother's Window Tint has tinted cars and trucks to keep them cooler and stop the sun from damaging their interiors. Texans like dark privacy window tint. Come to Mother's and get some. Legal and guaranteed a lifetime. Remember to protect yourself and your family. Buy an auto alarm today from Mother's. Starter kill, remote start, GPS locator, 24-hour live monitoring. Save $100 on the tint and alarm package of your choice. Austin and San Antonio stores. MothersWindowTint.com. Remember, do it at Mother's and save.
What makes the perfect workout? Being able to ride, lift, and stretch in one place with motivating instructors.
Y'all look so good out there, Peloton.
Classes that always work around your busy summer schedule.
Push, Peloton, you've got 20 minutes of opportunity on this ride.
Instructor-curated playlists for every mood.
Let's turn it up, come on.
Now what if you had it all? Right at home. The Peloton Bike. Nothing like working out from home. Visit onepeloton.com to learn more.
Prescription products require an online consultation. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information.
My husband's ED was affecting our marriage. When he first started experiencing ED, it was difficult for both of us. We didn't know who to talk to about it or where to get help. HIMSS was our answer. HIMSS connected my husband with a licensed provider online. He was able to get medication to treat his ED at a fraction of the price people pay for the name brand. It was delivered to our door, and guess what? Our sex life is back. It works.
Right now, get your first online provider's visit totally free when you go to forhims.com/love. Yep, free. No copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. Just the care you need.
Thanks to HIMSS, we got our sex life and our marriage back.
To start your free online visit, go to this exclusive address, forhims.com/love. That's forhims.com/love for your free online visit. forhims.com/LOVE.
If you can't sleep because of annoying knee pain, that's a problem. If you stop running because your feet always hurt, that's a problem. If your elbow, shoulder, and neck pain make it impossible for you to do your job, that is a problem. And it's time to finally do something about it. I'm Dr. Jason Garrett from Arasti. At Arasti, we fix pain fast. No medications, no injections. Arasti treatment is completely natural and non-invasive. Plus, we accept most insurance plans. There's a location near you. Visit Arasti.com. That's AIRROSTI.com. Arasti, we fix pain fast.
Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar is celebrating 8 years in San Antonio. We are going to party with them. Jason Minix here. Join me this afternoon for a live broadcast of the Blitz out at Slackers from 4 to 7. We got a ton of prizes to give away. We'll see you out at Slackers.
Goodyear believes in the power of moving forward. No matter if it's on the track, the court, or the field, movement makes us want to be more. It pushes us to go further, to show the world what we can do. Movement has the unique ability to change our perspective, to challenge us, to work for a better tomorrow. Movement can even bring us together when we're still, because if we're focused on the next move, we don't have to worry about what's behind us. Goodyear, more driven.
For the ones who know that a little late is always too late, and that the clock doesn't stop just because you're missing a part, Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry. And our Keep Stock inventory management solutions help ensure you have the right stuff in the right place at exactly the right time. Visit Grainger.com/keepstock to learn more. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey Alexa, skip to Friday.
Tell me in your robot voice how this is scientifically possible.
San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
It's R&R in the morning.
Yes, sir.
He's Rudy J. I'm Rob Thompson. Go check us out live. We got dressed this morning at 4 a.m. Rudy put on makeup.
Yeah, I put on a little bit of makeup.
Little
I put the little napkin around my neck in the morning before I put it on. You know that little napkin all the TV guys put on? I'm like, damn, y'all putting on that much cake?
The little bit of napkin, the lobster napkin with a little
thing.
Let's do this.
Let's do it.
So yesterday, I'm at home. It's about 4 o'clock. And Twitter starts going bananas. The Houston Chronicle reported that OU and Texas were exploring membership in the SEC, and citing an unnamed source, said an announcement could be coming within a couple of weeks. You want to talk about a catastrophic bit of news as the SEC is gathering together to talk about the upcoming season. The Big 12 has already had their media day. So let's talk about it. Texas and OU see no future in the Big 12. Obviously, they have been hamstrung by the lack of depth of talent and the lack of money that can be gained by being in the Big 12, and they want to join the preeminent conference in college football. I understand it, but there's so much history here. This goes back so deep for Aggies. This is we're getting real personal here, because this is one of those things that A&M left. It was a divorce. It was an ugly divorce.
It was an ugly divorce, but I think looking back, it was the right thing to do.
It was the right thing because the University of Texas decided that in their preeminence, they could have a television network focused solely and only on them, and refused to share that amongst the rest of the conferences.
You haven't gotten over that.
No, I have not gotten over that.
Okay.
And I don't think
Clearly.
anybody should have gotten over that, because I'm of an age when I was at A&M, there was not the disparity in the beatings in the history. A&M was successful against the University of Texas when I was there in the late 80s and early 90s. So that 6-year group of Aggies are now in situations of power and in control. And we have no beholdency to Texas. None. We owe you nothing. Nothing.
But this is okay. Like I said, this is going to be fun. What? The SEC doesn't belong to you guys.
No, it does not.
Now,
no, it does not.
Let's be fair.
I'm not. I offer no right of ownership to the SEC.
But you don't want Texas there.
I don't want any school that chose to burn down and end a relationship over a TV network.
They did burn it down.
And watch it flounder and fail for a decade, and then come to us hat in hand and go, well, that was a mistake.
Meaning what was a mistake?
The TV network.
Oh, yeah.
The fight
Does
the
anybody
separation.
do Longhorn people even watch the Longhorn Network? Only thing every time I turn it on is Vince Young. I'm like, y'all got to find some new content. It's the 06 Rose Bowl. That's the only thing they show over there that's worth it. Oh, and women's volleyball, they're really good.
Yeah, I was about to say it's a niche thing for their other sports that basically ESPN Plus handles now.
Okay. Well, anyways, but Rob, first of all, I feel like OU makes sense. You know, Texas, like, y'all aren't even winning Big 12s. Because my thing was, this was the thing, and I'm going to come at Longhorn fan. When Aggies left, you'll never win anything. You'll never win anything. You'll never win anything. Well, I don't know if y'all will, because y'all aren't even really competitive in the Big 12. Yes, you played in the Big 12 title game with 4 losses. You had 4 losses the year you played in the Big 12 title game. OU's going to be able to come over there and compete. And the Aggies, after what we saw last season, you know, the only one standing in between them is Big Bad Bama, and no one can figure out that puzzle. So, you know, Texas, you know, y'all had a lot to say, but y'all be coming over there as a 6th, 7th,
probably, but
maybe 6th through 8th best team. I know you're looking at it from different angles. I'm looking at
no, I'm with you. Everything you're saying, I completely agree with.
Yeah, OU's going to go over there and compete. Texas, y'all still aren't back. No matter how, even though y'all walk around with your chest out and y'all act like it's 2006, it's not. But you go over there and you're going to be getting your butts handed to you on Saturday, and it ain't just going to be Bama, LSU, etc. It's going to be a few other teams kicking your butt too, kicking your teeth in. I don't know what Sark's going to do. We'll wait and see. Maybe he brings them back. But as of right now, if they went over there within the next 2 years, they'd be 6 through 8.
Well, you can
that.
Yes, but the platform would be provided for immediate improvement.
Oh, everybody will be getting a $22-25 million check every year.
Yeah.
If Texas comes over there.
Everybody, and that's what will eventually cause this to happen.
Texas and OU do add to the aesthetic of
There's
it, though.
no question that the strength and the preeminence of the SEC would be solidified. It would be over. There is but one conference if Texas and OU join the SEC.
Because the Pac-12 is dead.
Yeah, Pac-12 is done.
Big 12's dead. We really got the Big Ten. And the only reason we talk ACC is because of Clemson.
Yes.
If Clemson decided, hey, we want to go to SEC too, then it's really over.
But, you know, there's sleeping giants over there too.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Better
Florida
than the
State can
Big
turn
12.
things around pretty damn quick. You know what I mean? The expectation is as we whittle away and become these preeminent powers, that the SEC will be, you know, much stronger than it is now. We see that North Carolina's getting better already. Mac Brown's turning that program
Shout out
around.
to Mac Brown. Y'all talk crazy about Mac too.
So, and Florida State is a sleeping giant. You know, eventually that they will turn it around quicker than they'll flounder.
Miami sometimes.
And Miami is, if they can just get out of their own way, Miami will be back to they'll never be what they were, but they will be back to being highly competitive and in the race every year. So the ACC is going to be fine, and adding to the SEC would be fine too. And I'm also a realist. I'm an Aggie, but a realist. This is going to happen.
You think so?
Yes, it will happen. It's the right move in the broadest scope. But as an Aggie, it is incumbent upon us to make it as difficult as possible. Because the gall.
Speak on it, brother.
The utter gall.
Speak on it.
To come and say, you know what? We've been looking around over the last decade, and yeah, you guys are never going to succeed. You guys are never going to win. You left us and decided to go play Alabama, you idiots. You wanted to go and play LSU every year. Yeah, Texas got a taste of that, didn't they? And you guys want to do it every year? Oh, how dare you want to leave the preeminence and let us take you where you need to be. And you'll get plenty of crumbs from us. The crumbs will fall to you guys. I mean, TCU's made it because they've hung around and ridden our coattails for years. Aggies? Sure. We'll have a TV network. And it'll be all about us. We're not going to share it.
Do you have the same vitriol for Oklahoma, or is this just are you talking to Oklahoma and Texas, or are you just talking to Texas?
I'm talking to Texas.
Okay. OU, you cool. Come on.
Oh, I hate OU. That we shared an equal distaste for OU. I stand by this. If I ever run for office in the state of Texas, if you go to high school in the state of Texas and you choose an Oklahoma school, and at some point you turn pro in that sport that you played, you owe the state of Texas the cost of your high school education.
Wow, Rob, you Aggies are something else. Are you serious right now? But you'd invite them to the party. Like, hey, y'all come to the party.
I have to take off the maroon glasses and go, this is great for college football.
It is.
Is it? It is great.
Because we're losing a conference. So is it great for college football when a conference will no longer exist in the minds of a passerby fan?
Kansas is a waste of space.
No, Kansas doesn't deserve to have a football team.
And Iowa State forever. Now every school gets a little bump, and Matt Campbell certainly helped Iowa State, but let's not kid ourselves. Iowa State's been a speed bump as well.
Right.
So the football conference, as a football fan, that's a week wasted. The Kansas, that's
idle.
That's the weekend for the parents to watch their seniors finally get some PT. There's no TV, there's no benefit to it. And one of the things about being in the SEC is every freaking week it's a ball game.
Oh,
every
no
week.
weeks off.
There's no weeks off, and it's more importantly, it is must-see television for the alumni of that school, for the people of that school. You got to tune in. You got Auburn this week. You got Alabama the following. You got LSU in there. That's just the regular season. That's a bowl game to Texas. Texas would suddenly have 5 bowl games instead of 2. OU's a bowl game. It is. That's a must-see.
Absolutely.
And their other bowl game. Others are, they're growing. They come and go. When you join the SEC, it is a weekly set of bowl games.
Yeah, because it has national championship implications.
So it's great for college football, but for Texas to just presume, we're going to join the SEC. Hold on just a second. There is an interview process.
Right. So does OU and Texas call each other and say, hey, let's figure this out? Oh, okay. So they went in as a unit.
They couldn't have done this without some sort of uniform
It wasn't
effort.
just a coincidence that these two are the teams that are asking. They talk to each other like, hey, man, it's time for us to move out.
And they've worked together. Keep in mind, 5 years ago, they were talking about the expansion. And OU and Oklahoma State talking about leaving or staying. That was
wanted Notre Dame and BYU.
And those and Oklahoma and Oklahoma State had floated the idea. Well, if we want to grow the Big 12, y'all want to expand it, and Mr. TV Network down there, if y'all want to grow it, we'll just go ahead and over SEC then. I mean, that OU has been looking at the SEC for a long time, and there have been some when Stoops was still the head coach. He and Saban had a little bit of come and go, so that would be a great immediate rivalry.
Used to get at each other.
Yeah, that would be it would be great for college sports. It would be terrible for Texas A&M.
Like at that point, if this happens, if I'm SEC, I know it's been a big thing, like your non-conference scheduling. If I add Texas and OU, I will continue to play St. Phillips and SAC in non-conference.
You get one of those.
I'm going to continue to play a crappy non-conference if I now have to deal with Texas and OU as well. Like I don't care who you play in non-conference, it still doesn't match up to what you'll see on a weekly basis in the SEC. I will continue to play patsies.
And Texas would lose that ability to schedule those Pac-12 games, those California games. That'd be gone. You'd have.
Oh yeah.
It's just too difficult. You cannot afford, unless it's opening week, first kickoff game of the season, to go outside your conference for anything even reasonably tough. Because this year's A&M going to Colorado for a game. That's a pretty tough.
That's not
non-conference roadie. Home and away.
I'm throwing those away if Texas and OU come over.
You just about have to, although it does help the TV budget. And at the end of the day, that's what it's after. We're going to continue to talk about this. And I'm going to have to put my A&M-ness away and continue to look at it for what it is. And it would be a phenomenal thing for college sports, but it would hasten the end even quicker of the NCAA. And we'll talk about that as we continue going. Coming back, there's a Brazilian athlete that is burpees are the worst thing invented by any trainer in history. There's a Brazilian athlete that did, 800 of them?
951.
951 burpees. Consider that as you're heading into work. Hang around with us. This is R&R in the Morning, and you're on San Antonio's Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. You woke up this morning, and I hope your AC was blowing nice and cold. You went in and turned on your sink and the water came on and everything was perfect. What would you do if you woke up this morning and your AC did not come on and there were a quarter inch of water in your bathroom? you better have Service First AC and Plumbing in your phone. One dial gets the very best service quickly out to your home. Service First AC and Plumbing, they're my plumbers. They take care of my air conditioning, and they should for you. They are experts in emergencies. They're my first responder. And when you think first responder, you think fast, reliable, proactively, and trusted. That is Service First AC and Plumbing. Someone will always answer your call and be out there immediately, 24/7, 365. Service First AC and Plumbing. Put this number in your phone, 210-521-1500. 210-521-1500. One press gets an expert at your door post haste. What are you going to do when your air conditioner goes down? It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. What are you going to do when you walk into your house and see a 1/4 inch of water there? What are you going to do when your air conditioning fails at your business? You're going to call Service First AC and Plumbing with one press of the button. It gets hot here in San Antonio. It's only going to get hotter. Make sure Service First AC and Plumbing is in your phone, knowing full well when something goes bad. A family-owned and operated business of over 14 years of taking care of San Antonians will be at your door post haste. They're my plumber. They're my AC. They should be yours. Service First AC and Plumbing. Put it in your phone, and when you need them, call them, and then thank me later.
Score $1,000 in summer cash. Enter the winning keyword, home run, HOMERUN, home run at sasportstar.com. Good luck from San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar is celebrating 8 years, and we are going to party with them. Hi, Jason Minix here. Join me this afternoon for a live broadcast of the Blitz out at Slacker's North Star location. It's their 8th birthday party. It's our first live broadcast out on location in over a year. We are ready to get after it, and we've got a lot of great prizes to give away, including tickets to go to WWE Raw Live. So join us this afternoon at Slacker's North Star location and party with us in the San Antonio Sports Star.
Golfers, it's time to tee it up at the reopening of Edwin Watts. We've weathered the storm, and now we're open. Come visit our newly remodeled store featuring GC quads in every hitting bay. Check out the new arrivals from all the top brands like Ping, TaylorMade, Titleist, and Callaway. Edwin Watts has the largest selection of shoes, bags, balls, apparel, and more in stock. Swing by our newly remodeled store and get custom fit for free today. Edwin Watts is the home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee, and shop us online at worldwidegolfshops.com.
Okay, ladies, we all know one of the greatest feelings in the world when you get together with a friend and she says, "Girl, those pants look amazing on you." But even though I'm happy dancing inside, I just play it cool and say, "Thanks, they're Skechers Go Walk Wear pants." And why do I always get compliments on these casual, athletic, stretchy pants? Because whether I'm hanging with friends or working out, nothing beats the fit, comfort, and versatility of Skechers Go Walk Wear. They're made with comfortable GoFlex fabric that has compression and hold, including a double compression waistband. What's that mean? It gives me curves in all the right places and minimizes the spots where I want a little help. And the versatility is incredible. Go Walk Wear pants have 4 pockets, 2 back and 2 side. Plus, they're machine washable and come in extended sizes, so everyone can look great in these pants. Easy care, easy wear, and made to fit every body. That's the Skechers Go Walk Wear line of pants. Find yours at Skechers.com, a Skechers store, and find retailers everywhere.
Our shoes have more miles on them than your car does. This is San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
This is Jason Minix on your home for Cowboys football. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
It's R&R in the morning. We made it to Thursday. Congratulations.
Barely.
Get into work quick. Jenkins got a bunch of paperwork waiting on you. He's Rudy J. I'm Rob Thompson. Carl Schoenig on the other side of the double pane glass. We're going to 10 o'clock today. The halftime, a quick programming note. will not air today. The fourth best professional baseball team in the state of Texas is going to take the air.
Fourth?
Well, maybe fifth. I haven't really followed the rest of what minor leagues are doing. I have a feeling that the Amarillo Sod Poodles are just a whisker or two ahead of the Rangers.
And you got the Missions number 2, right? Missions number 2?
Missions probably. I was thinking, well, Missions either 1 or 2, then the Hooks, the Chanclas, right up there with the Sod Poodles.
Astros are doing pretty good.
Well, they're number 1. That goes.
If you come across an Aggie fan today, Aggie alumni today, they're surly. Rob taking shots at calling the Rangers worse than the Sod Poodles. If you come across an Aggie fan today, they're a little grumpy. Just bear with them. Just bear with them. They're going through it today.
We are.
Because it's like, dude, really? Like you said you didn't want me. You said you hated me. Now you see me with you see me in a better situation. You see me in a better relationship, and now you want me back. Are you scared? Y'all made huge strides in recruiting, Rob. Huge. Does this work?
Absolutely.
Does this worry you now?
Absolutely. And it should.
Yeah.
If you wanted to be an SEC football player, you could stay in state. Mama come see you. Now they got another option. Yes, it absolutely would hurt. It would open up some things, but at the same time, it wouldn't be devastating. It would be, everybody would suffer. I mean, A&M would suffer. There would certainly be more opportunities to stay in state. So yeah, that goes.
I like the
saying.
fact that you're being a realist, because I know that we all know that one fan of like, we're still going to be. I like the fact that you're a realist. I think that has to do with radio. Radio makes us realists. Like we can't jeopardize our credibility. The fact that you were honest about that, I can appreciate that, because there's somebody not on there saying right now we're still going to kick their ass in recruiting.
I do think that there's a lot of athletes. I think far fewer now than there used to be, that you were one or the other. You you'd always take the visit to the other school, whether you were,
but you knew where you were
down deep. You either had burnt orange or maroon. There really was no separation, and you could probably stuff it back if you had the opportunity. But for the most part, for the longest time, it was one or the other. It very rarely, think about it. When was the last time one of the bigger state of Texas athletes sat down at a desk to announce that it was a Texas and an A&M hat?
No,
it doesn't. Right. It doesn't fall that way like it used to. So it would affect A&M certainly, but I still think there's some of that down there that whether SEC, Big 12, Southwest Conference, you were never going to go to A&M. You just weren't. It might not be Texas, but A&M wasn't going to be in play because basically you were kind of Texas at heart. And I thought there's a little bit of that still, so that won't affect that part of the recruiting. But it absolutely would kill that pipeline of players, especially in East Texas, that want to play in the SEC and really only have one option, so Mama can come see them. That's at A&M.
Again, until Texas proves it on the field, I mean, they can go to SEC, they go to Big 10, they go wherever they want to go. As we stand today, July 22nd, 2021, the Aggies are the best football team in Texas. And until Texas proves it on the field, that's just what it is. And Texas fan has to accept that, hold that, and let it marinate.
I think it would go a long way. My Aggie's going to show right here.
Okay, that's fine.
If the University of Texas was a little contrite.
That's not in them. They're the most arrogant fan base walking the planet. Well, besides Bama, but they have a right to be. Texas is arrogant for no reason. They're arrogant from 2006 from history class, and I slept through history class. So please don't tweet me history. But yeah, they're arrogant for no reason. So they're not going to be contrite.
If Del Conte would come out and say previous administrations before I got here made some errors in judgment. They might have been a bit arrogant in their decision-making process.
Absolutely.
And we have come to the realization that we need to right a mistake. And the mistake was collapsing back in 1990, 2000, what was it, 7, 8?
Somewhere around.
No, it was later than that. That we ended the Big 12 because of this stupid TV network. And to rectify that, we need to join another conference. You don't have to apologize to us. You just have to admit your failings. And I think most Aggies will go, all right, then. All right. Because I define it as a divorce, and it was. That was a divorce, a painful ending to a 100-year relationship.
So your AD has some interesting comments, and we were just looking. So you have to get 11 of the 14 have to vote you yes. So one, did you agree with Aggie's AD, what he had to say? And two, how do you feel like he'll vote?
Right now,
what
I think
did he?
he'll vote
What did
no.
he say?
Well, you know what we'll do? We'll play it when we come back.
Play when we come back? Okay, cool.
You're talking about it. We're going to continue getting into this. Lots of Cowboy talk as well as training camp has begun. Thanks for hanging with us. We got a lot more coming your direction. This is R&R in the Morning, and you're on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Emotion. There are few places in the broadcast universe where emotion is so sweet.
Nothing in one to count. Here's the pitch. A high fly ball hit out into left field. Cave going back to the wall. He leaps. It's out of here. Home run for Adolis Garcia.
There's one. On to first. There's two. And there's your ball game.
This is San Antonio Sports Star. ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Can you feel it?
Hurt in an accident and dealing with hospital bills? Thomas J. Henry will help you with medical bills while we work on your case. Start your claim today at tjhlaw.com/radio. That's tjhlaw.com/radio. San Antonio, Texas.
Hey, San Antonio, it's time to get out and grill. This is Michael Kielbasa with Kielbasa Smoked Meats. Summer is here, and no backyard barbecue is complete without Kielbasa sausage. We handcraft them the old-fashioned way, the same way we have since 1949. You may want to buy a little extra because your family and guests will be coming back for seconds. Try us today. Find Kielbasa sausage at a store near you.
Peter Drucker is well known for his wise insights. One I came across recently caught my attention. He said, "For the first time in history, people will have to manage themselves. Society is totally unprepared for this." End of quote. The context of his statement came out of concern for the incredible number of options and choices that present themselves daily to human beings in the modern world. Without a vision for life, the danger is to become a mile wide and an inch deep. In other words, it's having a lot of experiences but never mastering the skills to live successfully, like patience, forgiveness, how to love, how to make wise decisions, how to survive adversity and be content. A starting place for considering how to master these skills in life is in the Bible's book of Proverbs. They will sharpen your vision for life. This is Mark Absher, the MacArthur Park Church of Christ, encouraging you to take a look at the Proverbs and how they can be added to your life daily. Visit our church online at macarthurchurch.org. The MacArthur Park Church of Christ, connecting God and people.
Hey there, it's CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger with an inside track on a company that could save your family over $800 a year on a basic service everyone needs, H2O Wireless. If you're with Verizon, AT&T, or T-Mobile, H2O Wireless gives you the exact same coverage as one of those, but at half the price. That's right, H2O Wireless uses the same network, same towers. You can even keep your phone and number because switching is as easy as swapping a SIM card. Right now, get unlimited talk, text, and 15 gigs of data for just $36 a month. And if you want a new phone, H2O Wireless has huge savings on the latest iPhones and Androids. Here's what you need to do. Pick up your phone and dial pound 250 and say keyword Get H2O. When you do, you'll save 50% off your first month. Again, dial pound 250 and say keyword Get H2O, and your family could start saving over $800 a year today.
Diamonds Direct takes value to a whole new level with a spectacular summer store-wide sale. Get ready, it's July 21st through the 25th. 5 days of extra savings. 20% off Diamonds Direct's already unbeatable prices. A multi-million-dollar selection of rings, earrings, bands, and bracelets. Virtually everything's on sale. Plus, top jewelry designers are flying in with all new collections. The buying opportunity of the year. Extra savings store-wide. Mark your calendar. July 21st through 25th only. And only at Diamonds Direct. Official jeweler of the Dallas Cowboys. At the shops at Lock Ontario.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
The moment you fire up a Gator UTV, the engine has your full attention. The completed job is on the horizon, and the trail meets its match. Just like that, you made short work of a long to-do list. Run with us on a John Deere Gator UTV. With effortless four-wheel drive at the flip of a switch and our smoothest shifting transmission yet. Nothing runs like a Deere. Search John Deere Gator for more.
At Shell, we know from the time you get up to the time you wrap up,
Good night.
there's a lot of meetups, eat-ups, and hurry-ups. So come to Shell and get 3 things done at once. Fill up with Shell V-Power Nitro Plus to help keep your engine running like new. Save up with the Fuel Rewards program and never pay full price for gas again. And snack up with in-store rewards to save even more at the pump. Make the most of the stop you need to make with Shell. And engines that continuously use Shell V-Power Nitro Plus premium gasoline. See full terms and conditions at fuelrewards.com.
Sports fans, YouTube TV's live TV service transforms the viewing experience with the latest and greatest technology and game-changing features. Personal watch recommendations help you find what to watch quickly and easily. And with Key Plays, you can catch up to the game live so you won't miss a thing. YouTube TV brings crystal clear HD live TV streaming to all your favorite devices. No cable boxes, no long-term contracts. Set up in minutes. Visit YouTubeTV.com now to try it free. Terms apply.
O'Reilly. Ready for your next road trip? Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts to get everything you need to stay safe while traveling. Visibility on the road is so important and so easy to achieve. Get your windshield streak-free and crystal clear with Blue Magic Glass Cleaner. On sale now, 2 for $5. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
One team, one mission. KZDC, San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Rob Thompson, Rudy J. R&R in the morning.
Good morning.
Welcome aboard.
Good morning.
It's R&R in the morning. He's Rudy J. I'm Rob
Sir.
Thompson. Lots to talk about today. Preeminent news, of course, is the announcement, or at least the article from the Houston Chronicle that OU and Texas some months ago reached out via back channel, so we've been told by Paul Feinbaum, Mr. SEC, through a law firm. And according to Paul Feinbaum, the negotiations, the discussions are far down the road. That the Chronicle believes that
this is going down soon.
An announcement, a true announcement through the SEC is coming within weeks. Upon hearing that news, Oklahoma State released a statement that they're a little concerned, obviously, but will fight to maintain the athletic program.
Cue the Titanic music when you play Oklahoma State fight.
Well, the Big 12's dead. There will be no more Big 12. In fact, I'll go further than this. With this announcement, whether they join the SEC or not, Big 12's dead. If I am any other school in that conference, I'm on the phone to the most logical choice for me today. And if they say yes, I'm gone.
Pac-12, Big 10.
Whatever.
But stay by your phones, Pac-12 and Big 10, because there's going to be some phone calls coming you all's way.
There's no turning back.
Yeah.
None at all. And I don't know what the answer is for some of the schools that really don't fit that regional profile. I don't know where Houston or SMU or TCU. I would like to think that they would be a package deal, but if Texas and OU leave, Big 12 turns into just a really good Conference USA. And that's what they become.
That's brutal.
This hour we're talking nets, of course. We'll also look at what's the natural fit for all the other schools. What conferences would fit best? Because this might very well be the end of the Big 12, but the savior of the Pac-12. This could save that
they could
conference.
get some strong, because they can get some of these schools left over.
They can add a few schools. They can improve and increase their regional footprint across the entirety of the West, and allow the Pac-12 to exist with football, and then that would improve that. And they would bring a little basketball to a very rich Pac-12 basketball history. So I think it would save the Big 12. save the Pac-12, kill the Big 12, and improve somewhat kind of the Big 10.
Where you want Baylor to go? Pac-12 or Big 10?
I don't know where Baylor fits.
Right.
Because their athletic department is certainly they acquit themselves a bit higher than TCU and
coming
SMU.
off a national title.
Yeah, they got national title aspirations every year in basketball. Women's basketball every year.
Come on.
Football, it depends on the coach they bring in, but they have had consistent success, I would say. So I don't know where they land here, because I do think that would be, they should probably land in the Pac-12. I think that would really help the conference. USC and Baylor aren't that different. Now they're USC and Baylor, they're not very different scholastically, and they're both rather exclusive. They're expensive. So I think there would be a fit, at least as far as the type of student, but I'm not sure the Pac-12's politics jibe very well with Baylor's politics. I think there's a
thing about that.
There's a little bit of a you guys do what kind of stuff. So I'm not sure if they're a political fit. I do think that they're an athletic fit. Yeah. So I don't know. Baylor probably is the one with the biggest decisions to make.
I got Horned Frogs Big 10. Horned Frog, we talked about during the break what schools feel like a Big 10 school. Horned Frogs, I mean, they're better than Indiana.
Yeah.
They're better than Rutgers. They're better than Maryland. I think I have the Horned Frogs. If it comes to this, if I'm the Horned Frogs, I'd want to go Big 10.
And you wonder how many dominoes fall from this, because while you just mentioned a couple of schools that I think it would give the opportunity for the Big 10, the ACC, all these conferences to go, all right, since we're reshuffling the deck, let's make it a little bit more appropriate. So we'd like to call up to the front of the room, West Virginia and Rutgers. You guys can come on up here. Iowa State, you can come on up here too. Let's find another kind of oddball conference pairing. Maryland, come on down here. We need to send you home. This whole Big 10 stuff has not worked.
It's ugly.
It doesn't fit. It doesn't feel right. So you guys can come up here too, and we'll figure out a brand new place for you guys. And this is going to be good news for you. Now, Kansas, I don't know what the hell you guys are going to do. I don't know where you're obviously a cherry to have if you're a basketball conference.
Kansas, dissolve your football team and then have everyone bid on you for basketball. Because if you include your football team in the deal, you're not going to go to a preeminent conference. Just dissolve the football team. It's disgusting to watch.
Villanova has football, right? Does Villanova have a football team?
Division II or FCS rather, I think.
So they're FCS. So
yes.
They field a team.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But it's FCS level,
so
which Kansas should do.
That's what I'm saying. So, go the Villanova route and go find a basketball conference. They don't even need you for football. Amen. Go join the ACC. They took Notre Dame.
Sure did.
So they would love to have the basketball part of that. That's going to be the interesting fallout from this, because at the end of this process, I firmly believe that the power schools, whether it be the Power 5, Power 4, or whatever, they're going to form their own entity. They're going to form this hybrid between college sports and pro sports. It'll be somewhere in the middle where players are paid, but they're students, and they're, pretty much exclusive with their NIL inside the conference, and they'll take that NIL money and spread a big old thick layer of mayonnaise across everybody's bread. So everybody getting paid.
I hate mayo.
Well, I'm
random. I'm just saying.
You're not a Miracle Whip.
No, I'm a mustard.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways,
I think Miracle Whip types have some kind of issue. That should never be on bread.
Yeah, that's
Carl.
disgusting.
You're not a Miracle Whip type, are you? That wasn't on the interview.
No. I can't say that I've had mayonnaise in over a decade now. Probably.
Is that
it's been a
religious objection?
I think I used to like it when I was a kid with tuna, but not anymore with anything. Not even tuna.
I don't do tuna.
I was going to go down the road and say, if not mayonnaise, what? Nothing?
Mustard and tuna.
Philly.
Gives it a nice little kick, little spice.
I've never done it. Things come out of Carl's mouth every time it says something. I'm like, I'm flabbergasted and stunned.
Yeah.
Mustard and tuna. Rudy's holding back.
I ain't gonna say anything. We got too much to get to.
I have way too many things that I enjoy.
I already derailed this.
No, you haven't derailed it at all. This is what we're doing here.
That's what we do. Yeah. Where are we going? Oh, it's almost news time.
Yeah, it's time to get caught up on all the news. We're going to talk Dallas Cowboys. Camp has begun. They're practicing today at 11, and there's a birthday to celebrate. But first, as you head into work and you're getting ready to talk sports, we want to make sure you're fully informed and aware of what's going on in the world. So we have, Carl's been working since last night to correlate and put together the 411 and the 210.
Yeah, that's right, gentlemen. It is the 411 and the 210 as I give you some headlines that I think San Antonio needs to know. Headline 2 in tennis news. The U.S. Open coming up. Roger Federer, Osaka, and Djokovic have all entered the U.S. Open, so that'll be...
I heard Federer.
Federer, Osaka, and Djokovic.
Oh, turnover chain. I think it's Osaka.
Osaka. I need to get my tennis game up, to be honest.
Me too.
Yeah.
I can't.
Osaka.
Hey, trust me. So, now you need to watch her Netflix special. Like when you watch her Netflix special, it all makes sense. Like she looks uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Within the spotlight. Everyone, when she won that U.S. Open in 2018, her life changed, and her team, like agents, managers, they didn't pay attention to the signs. The signs were there that she wasn't happy and she wasn't comfortable doing all the things they had her doing. And it just all weighed down on her. And now this is why we are where we are. But I encourage y'all to watch her little Netflix.
I've seen the previews.
Yeah, I would watch it.
Social media has made media oversaturated. Headline 1, and this is the big one. I probably should have made this 0, but headline 1, Aaron Rodgers' fiance, Shailene, if I'm saying that correctly.
I don't know her.
I'm not sure either. Retweeted a Stephen A. Smith segment in which Stephen A. says the situation is more than money in football and that it is, quote, they have disregarded him, they have dismissed him, they have minimalized him, and they have disrespected him. You know how Stephen A. likes to pour it on. But she retweeted that, so that kind of breathes life into what Stephen A. is saying even more, and it looks like Rodgers is heading closer to that exit door. And headline number 1, Jerry says after everything that was going on, his team is in the pipeline, if you will, on their way to 90% vaccination, and that is what you need to know in the 210, the 411.
Thank you, Carl. First of all, that Naomi Osaka thing. I haven't seen it yet. Can they trace back her uncomfortable whatever? What are they defining her issues are? She's got social anxiety, or
I just think it's just like overwhelming.
Can they trace it all the way back to being when she thought she was being booed at the U.S. Open when she won it and beat Serena?
Well,
they weren't booing, but they were.
Yeah, that's when it started.
When she was crying on the court, did that begin it? Because what a terrible beginning to what was a phenomenal win.
Once she won it, you could just see them recording her, and it's just everything that they had her doing modeling, they had her doing photo shoots, they had her doing all this stuff, and I'm just looking at her face, and I'm like, she doesn't want to be there. How do your managers and your people and your PR people, how do they not see this, or do they see it and they're just like, this is our chance. We have to strike, get over, because we don't take mental health serious. I still don't think we take mental health serious because it just is what it is. But no, she's clearly uncomfortable. And only time she looked happy in that documentary when she's hanging out with her sister, not doing anything. They're just hanging out, just being sisters, smiling, happy, outgoing. As soon as she gets into some room with other people in it and they were asking her to do stuff and take pictures, shuts down.
Ricky Williams.
Ricky was like that, wasn't he? Ricky was exactly like that. So yeah, I definitely, whenever you get some time now that the finals is over, which I'm so mad at Phoenix, there's no game tonight so we could watch it, slackers. But now the finals over, you got a little bit more time before football season. I check it out.
She's on the cover of Sports Illustrated.
Yeah,
in the bathing suit.
In the bathing suit, right? Are those regional? Because I saw Meg the Stallion on one of the covers as well. Is that a regional thing?
I think they make several to sell more.
It's like, hey, you might like Meg the Stallion, you might like Naomi, but it's weird to see that because you're like, well, dang. So I guess it's just a picture versus having to talk.
That's exactly it. And it's probably also her decision, where I think a lot of that stuff
is her team.
She didn't ask to go and do this.
Yeah,
you got to be there at 8.
You got to be popular. You got to do this. You got to do that.
You got to show up, be smiling and happy.
Yeah. Let me put a disclaimer out there. My wife is outspoken. She's gonna speak her mind. If she likes something, she doesn't like something. So when we bring up athletes, wives, fiancés, girlfriends, tweeting stuff or whatever, that's not always necessary. My wife has a mind of her own. That doesn't necessarily mean like Aaron is just sitting there like, hey, retweet that. Like sometimes your wife is just like, hey, I like what he said,
but she's reflecting the conversation with her husband or her boyfriend, right? Don't you think that she's?
Oh, you feel like that's what they talk about when they're watching Netflix?
Yeah, I don't think Aaron said tweet that. I think she saw that and they had a conversation, and it reflected exactly the conversation with Aaron over the time that he does feel disregarded, disrespected, and overlooked. Which, baloney. But
it is baloney.
But if you feel that way and she hears it and she's defending her man, yeah, she's throwing that out there. Now, I'm not sure it was the best and smartest thing to do
right now,
because there are obviously some high-end negotiations, because if he doesn't show up for camp next week, $50,000 a day. Now, that doesn't mean a whole lot that's huge camp fines.
I don't think they'll fine him.
Well, they have to,
because they're kissing his butt.
Well, if you're not there, according to the players' agreement,
so
there's not a whole lot of choice here. Like, you don't have to be here, so they can maybe find a way to parse it and give him a reason not to be there, so they don't have to fine him. But they enhanced the ways the rules are enforced, so you can't skirt those fines anymore. Used to, the fines would be building up, and then to get them into camp, say, we just won't even fine you. Well, now you can't even really do that anymore. You got to, the fine is coming.
I learned that today.
So I think that she's reflecting, Aaron. I don't know if that was a team effort. I don't think that the PR people and he were sitting around and said, you know what we need you to do now? Instead of Aaron saying something, now the girlfriend's going to say something.
Right. But I think it was very strategic on the Packers' part to leak it out that, hey, just by the way, I want y'all to know in the offseason, we tried to make him the highest paid player, because the people in Green Bay are picking sides. And the organization wants to let it be known, like, because there was this narrative out there that is money.
Right.
Money.
That's how I still kind of, but I'll tell you what, as it's less about the money now than it was.
And so for Green Bay to be like, stop it. We tried to make him the highest paid player in NFL history. Not only in the league right now, NFL history. Stop saying we didn't offer him money. And I'm sure that made Aaron arrogant, but even more upset.
It is. I've been proven so wrong. I just firmly believe that right about now
he'd be ready.
He'd be signing. It would be that they and the Packers got together, and it's not a longer deal, but he's going to be a 2-year deal that would enhance. He'd be the highest paid player this year, and he'd have an opportunity to opt into the highest paid player next year. But the 2-year relationship at that, it would be over, and they would figure out a way to get it done. And maybe there'll be an 11th hour, but it certainly does feel like this is not going to end when training camp begins for the Packers, that he's not going to show up, and then the heat is really going to get turned up, and we are going to see an NFL power shift when the trade is done. That there's a team sitting out there that we're not even thinking about as a Super Bowl contender that will become a Super Bowl contender in the next 2 weeks, because Aaron Rodgers is now their quarterback.
The day Julio Jones was traded, I said Aaron Rodgers would be a Titan. LaFleur got Ryan Tannehill over the hump, helped him understand the game, slowed the game down for him, helped him be a quarterback. So not only are you getting a guy that's been to the playoffs if you trade Aaron Rodgers to the Titans, and then Aaron's getting that big-time wide receiver in Julio and A.J. Brown. That was my hot take at the time. I was like, you know what? I could see Aaron Rodgers. And Tennessee wasn't really on the radar. Tennessee's legit. Like, they don't need Aaron Rodgers. But that was my hot take at that time, as far as like a team that was like, because of course we say the Raiders, and before they drafted Trey Lance, the 49ers, it was all the usual suspects. But, my kind of hidden in the woods, I was like, LaFleur already knows Ryan Tannehill. I could see him on the move to Tennessee. Speaking of Aaron Rodgers.
That's a hot take today. I think it's more likely today than it was when you said it. Because the Tannehill is ain't great, but he's good.
He's solid.
He's getting paid probably a little bit more than he should, but the money would match with Aaron Rodgers, so it would make it easier for them to take him, and it would be easier for Green Bay to take him. And more importantly, you got a quarterback in Green Bay, at least for a couple of years. Tannehill is a serviceable placeholder, if not more than that, while you figure out if Jordan Love was worth all the headache that is caused by trading up to go get him.
Right.
So that would make a lot of sense to me.
Aaron with Derrick Henry, A.J. Brown, and Julio Jones, that makes up for a lot. See, Tennessee's problem is their defense is trash. And when their defense isn't playing well, while as good as Ryan is, he's not good enough to overcome his defense giving up 30-some-odd points. You add Aaron Rodgers to that fold, that takes so much pressure off of that defense. Like, hey, we had a bad game, but we have Aaron Rodgers.
I'll tell you this, though. Wherever Aaron lands, he better be getting to the Super Bowl. He better be offering the MVP.
Oh, he has to.
If he doesn't, I'm going to look at him just like I look at the University of Texas. You had everything.
Here you go.
You had everything you needed. You had everything.
I told y'all.
You had it taken care of. You had it right, and then you had to do one extra thing to blow everything up. That's Aaron Rodgers. I don't know what you want more, Aaron. I really don't.
So you're holding him to the Tom Brady bar. If he leaves, if he gets traded, gets what he wants, you're holding him to the Tom Brady bar that he has to go and win it.
More so than Brady.
Because he kicked and screamed.
Yes, he kicked and screamed and whined and said things that weren't obviously true. He feels disrespected and disregarded. I look at his situation and I go, you want to see disrespected and disregarded? Look around the rest of the NFL and look at some of the quarterbacks that have had to deal with situations. They've gone and taken care of you, just not taken care of you in the way you thought you needed to be taken care of. But they added to the defense. They got you to the NFC Championship a couple of years in a row. You got an MVP, and you say you're disrespected and disregarded. And the last contract you signed was the biggest in the history of the NFL. And you coming to me disrespected and disregarded?
Yeah, I don't think he's been disrespected at all. Other than, if you want to talk about love, but you have to plan for the future.
Go land in Carolina and ask Cam Newton how well he was taken care of in Carolina.
With Mahomes and Herbert over there and the Denver Broncos defense, if he goes to the Raiders, I don't know if they're a Super Bowl contender. I know they're a lot better, but I don't know if that makes them a Super Bowl. You got to play Patty Mahomes twice. You got to play Justin Herbert twice. Does he make the Raiders a Super Bowl contender?
I think he does. But a contender is one thing.
There's a lot of contenders.
There's a lot of contenders. If I'm Aaron Rodgers, I don't want to land in the AFC West.
I don't either.
I wouldn't mind. Landing in the AFC South, that wouldn't be too bad.
No.
Yeah, there are places that you could land that would improve an average team significantly. You look at the Denver Broncos. I think Denver. You throw them in the West, suddenly they truly are a contender.
Yeah, now if he goes to Denver with what Vic Fangio does on defense, it's an issue. It's an issue for the league. Denver becomes a contender.
I wonder how much pressure this puts on the Houston Texans today.
Meaning?
The Texans have to make a decision about Deshaun Watson when and if, the commissioner puts him on an exempt list and the trial issue goes. Deshaun is 1B in the availability of, getting a quarterback that changes the dynamics of a franchise. There's Aaron Rodgers short term. You get Deshaun Watson, it'll change the direction of your franchise for the next 5 years if you do it right. But the capital that it'll take to get him or Aaron Rodgers is so high that the teams that are in for both the team that gets him, they're going to spend so much capital that the other teams are going to look at it and go, I wonder if it's worth it.
Right.
And Deshaun might not be worth as much after Aaron moves.
I think Deshaun's price is low. It's been lowered because of everything that's gone on. But according to your guy Shefty, and I want to know how you feel as a Cowboy fan, it's Philly. Once they decide what suspension is going to be, that Philly's all in because they've dealt with Michael Vick. They've dealt with other things. Deshaun Watson in the NFC East going head-to-head with Dak Prescott twice a year.
It'd be a beautiful thing.
That's fireworks.
It would be. It'd be a beautiful thing. And I think it should happen. As a Cowboy fan, I certainly don't want it.
Right.
But it would be a beautiful thing. But who's to say that Philly's not looking at Aaron Rodgers? And the cost, there's only a couple teams that are really in a position to pull the trigger and do this. And if you go do it for Rodgers, what are the Houston Texans going to do as they sit with this commodity that they can't bring back, nor can they move unless they find somebody else that's willing to come and offer them the world? Or will the Houston Texans just shed him? Just, whatever you guys got, draft picks, just give me some number ones and go. I do think the Aaron Rodgers situation will play directly into what's going on with Deshaun Watson. We didn't wish him happy birthday yet, but today's Zeke Elliott's birthday.
Happy birthday, Zeke.
He is, 26? 26 years old. Pictures we've seen, he looks pretty good.
Yeah. He looks svelte. Dak looked like he lost some weight too. But Dak's always going to be an ox, but he looks like he got a little leaner.
We've paid so much attention to the improvement of the defense and the change for all these things. You wonder how much Mike McCarthy has decided. I'm looking at where the Cowboys have been truly successful before he arrived, and that running game was the thing. Zeke was the cornerstone. They won football games. It protected the defense. Dak could be opportunistic and throwing deep, all those positive things. I wonder if he has seen that and adjusted his offensive philosophy, because I don't know if he adjusted it last year because of everything else. But we know from his history with Aaron and the Green Bay Packers that he'd much rather throw the ball as a coach.
Last year, I think he was just watching the clock. Like, is this going to be over? When is this going to be over? Other than the Pittsburgh game, that one they almost won. But no, they're going to throw the ball. 160 million, 200 million, whatever they gave Dak, they're going to throw it around.
Let's come back. Look at the Dallas Cowboys. Training camp has begun. And if you're a treasure hunter, and you find a whole bunch of old whiskey, what do you do with it? You drink it? You sell it?
You send out a mass text.
I
got some whiskey from the bottom of the ocean. Pull up.
We're going to talk to treasure hunting and finding some whiskey. Hey, thanks for hanging around with us. You are on R&R in the morning, and this is San Antonio's Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
I'm James Pledger, and in college football, could the Longhorns and Sooners be heading to the SEC? According to a report from Brent Zwerneman of the Houston Chronicle, both schools have reached out to the SEC about joining. And according to Jason Whitley of WFAA in Dallas, early next week, both schools will send a letter to the Big 12 stating neither will renew their media contracts when they expire in 2025 and will petition the SEC for membership. In Major League Baseball, the Astros couldn't finish off the sweep of the Indians, falling 5-4, while the Rangers fell to the Tigers 4-2. They'll look to avoid being swept when they finish up that series today at noon, a game you can catch right here on your home for Rangers baseball. Finally, in minor league baseball, the Mission split their games with the Springfield Cardinals yesterday, winning game 1 10-5, but falling in game 2 10-3. They'll continue that series tonight from the Wolf with first pitch set for 7:05. I'm James Pledger for San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
I'm with Dr. Jason Garrett of Arasti. Now, you hear Arasti, Dr. Garrett. Define to me in the broadest possible terms. What is Arasti and why is it so successful?
Well, we're a company that fixes pain fast. Now, that's super vague. What we do is somebody comes in, they've got an ankle sprain, low back injury. We're going to do a history and evaluation just like you would any other medical provider. We have doctors of chiropractic and doctors of physical therapy that are doing the evaluation and the treatment. Once we figure out what's going on, then we apply a very specific hands-on manual therapy to change the connective tissue from a distorted, injured state to a healthy, normal state. Once we do that, then we apply active care. So we teach you exercises to reinforce the tissue change we just created, educate you on exactly what you're doing, why to do it, to keep yourself out of pain so you have a long-term healing.
That's a lot going on for an average of under 4 visits to get these kind of problems fixed. As you address these individual problems, we're not talking about over-the-counter medications or anything like this. This is getting well from the inside out.
That's right. There's no medication. There's no drugs, no surgery, no injections. It's all hands-on. It's 100% natural. The only side effects are sometimes you're a little sore afterwards.
What do we like to call it? Productive discomfort. No pain, no gain to you and I. Now, as you do get in and you work those specific areas and then the number of visits are so short or so small, why is that? How are you able to fix pain so much quicker than just not doing anything at all or taking an over-the-counter medication or something to that effect?
We have a really strict vetting and recruiting process. So we have an 87% elimination rate of all providers that want to work for us. Once they're hired, then we put them through a very detailed clinical pathways, 12 weeks initially, another 6 weeks on top of that, and then ongoing training throughout their tenure at Arasti, where we hold them accountable to very disciplined clinical pathways. And it's really the time spent with the patient that makes the biggest difference.
Isn't that always the key? Always remember, most insurance is accepted. You certainly don't need a referral. Give them a call. The number, 1-800-404-6050. That's 1-800-404-6050. Check out the website, Arosti.com. That's AIRROSTI.com. Why would you go to Arosti? I'll tell you why. They fix pain fast.
Welcome to Texas, where your backside will sizzle like bacon when you get in your car, unless you go to Mother's Window Tint, home of the Tint and Alarm Special, where you can also buy a new car stereo. Since 1984, Mother's Window Tint has tinted cars and trucks to keep them cooler and stop the sun from damaging their interiors. Texans like dark privacy window tint. Come to Mother's and get some. Legal and guaranteed a lifetime. Remember to protect yourself and your family. Buy an auto alarm today from Mother's. Starter kill, remote start, GPS locator, 24-hour live monitoring. Save $100 on the tint and alarm package of your choice. Austin and San Antonio stores. MothersWindowTint.com. Remember, do it at Mother's and save.
Oh, according to research, 82% of people remember radio ads. That means that 82% of you listening right now will remember that this is an ad for ZipRecruiter. If you're hiring, 82% of you will recall that ZipRecruiter makes hiring faster and easier. And 82% of you will note that you can try ZipRecruiter for free today. But you have to go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Yes, free. 82% of you will keep in mind that ZipRecruiter's technology finds qualified people for your job and actively invites them to apply.
Scott, is that you? Who are you talking to?
82% of you will also know that I live with my mom. But the most important thing to note is that ZipRecruiter works. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Will you be part of the 82% who remember where you can try ZipRecruiter for free? It's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Again, that exclusive link is ZipRecruiter.com/free. How much? Free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
You heard that safe drivers get rewarded with Snapshot from Progressive, so you went online to check it out. But then you saw an ad for a vintage baseball cap, and now you find yourself checking the stats of that team's second baseman in '97, wondering why his stolen base total dropped after his rookie season. Wonder how much his rookie card is worth. Yes, they said it was easy to save money with Snapshot from Progressive, but they forgot about the rest of the internet. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Snapshot not available in California, North Carolina, or from all agents.
Winning isn't everything, but man, it feels good, especially when you win in front of the whole world. Well, almonds are winning in snack form. Your natural fuel for your best winning you. And while not all of us are standing on podiums, we certainly can feel like it with a handful of roasted, salted almonds or sip of an almond milk smoothie, because almonds keep your body energized and your head in the game, even if that game isn't against other countries for massive national glory. California almonds. Own your everyday, every day.
A double shot of energy in the AM. Rob Thompson, Rudy J, R&R in the morning on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
R&R in the morning. San Antonio Sports Star. Carl Schoenig. It doesn't get any better than that. He's Rudy J. I'm Rob Thompson. Hey, head over to sasports.com. Sportstar.com. And watch us live. We take great effort in our appearance. We're radio guys.
Look at
I
this.
spent the first 20 years of my career, and nobody had any idea what I looked like, which I appreciate.
Michael Irvin thought you were a brother. For those who haven't heard this story.
I appreciate being kind of, but since we're going to be broadcast digitally around the world on our station, on YouTube, on Facebook, take the time and go say howdy. And if you got something to say, lots of ways to reach out to us. And I do want to talk to Texas Aggies, Texas A&M Aggies, and then fine Longhorn folks. That's seen as how we're going to start sharing a banner that says SEC here in the future. What are your thoughts? I really do want to hear from the strata of young Texas A&M types, old A&M types, non-fans of both. There's a good riddance to both of you. You deserve each other. Go to the SEC if you're a Baylor type or Oklahoma State type. Let's hear from the rest of the conference alumni and fans, what do you think about A&M and Texas joining together once again in the SEC, as it was announced yesterday that, no, not announced, the Houston Chronicle published an article saying that the OU and the Texas types have been in conversation with SEC types for months now, that back-channel communications have been in order, and it's only a matter of weeks before an announcement is made. Now, it won't affect this year, but
no.
It'll crumble the Big 12, and now it's everybody finding a lifeboat. You're going to have to find something to float on, or you're going to end up like DiCaprio, frozen with just a blue nose above the water if you don't get it done. So now everybody's on the phone. Oklahoma State was the first to come out and talk about it. What do you think? 656-3776, 656-ESPN are our Kielbasa Bacon phone lines. You can chime in a variety of ways on the socials. Jump on the Facebook feed, where you can find for sasportsstar.com. You can also jump on our Twitter feed, reach out to Rudy at RudyJ_star, at Rob Thompson ESPN. We want to talk with you for sure. But Dallas Cowboys. We've talked so much about Dak. We talked so much about the wide receivers. We talked so much about that offensive line. But keep in mind, Zeke Elliott's the highest draft pick the Cowboys have had in the last decade. You know what I mean? That's the bell cow that really Jerry and the crew went all in on the running game. They heavily invested in that huge offensive line, and for a couple years, it was perfect. They did it at the right time because they lost their quarterback, but they had a running game and they had a guy like Zeke that could bail them out of situations. I remember in particular a Pittsburgh Steeler game.
Okay.
2016. Yeah, 2016, where it was not nearly overtime. Steelers had the Cowboys. This is a must win, and Zeke Elliott won that football game. What was it, a 60-yard little screen pass? He turns the corner, runs the length of the field just about, and they win the game. And that, to me, at that point, that's what the Dallas Cowboys were designed to do then, and I would like to think they're still designed to do it now. The problems last year were the defense, and the offense did them absolutely no favors. We like the Cowboys to score 40 points, right? That's this offense, we think 40 points, but what if they manufactured 140 yards of rushing and only scored 30 points a game, but that defense suddenly became one of those top 10 defense? Isn't that a better prescription for a Super Bowl than 50 points a game?
It is, and I feel like for a while we got away from the running game in the NFL. NFL is a copycat league, and for a while it was throw it all over the place. But, over the past couple of years, we're starting to see the running game become more and more important, and it's coming back into the fold. Now, Dan Quinn, even though he made it to a Super Bowl, did Dan Quinn make it to a Super Bowl?
Yeah.
He made it to a Super Bowl. I think some guys are just better fit at doing one thing. Some guys are just better coordinators than they are head coaches because they just get to focus in and laser in on what they do. And with Dan Quinn, that's where he made his name, as a D coordinator. And I think with his scheme, and he got the guys like you brought up in the first segment, Jerry let him have the guys he wanted. There's a very good possibility that this team on defensive side of the ball could do a 180. Not be the 85 Bears, but significantly better on that side of the ball. And if they are, with Gallup, Coop, Lamb, Zeke, I'm not sure what they're doing at the tight end position. Dak back full. First of all, the team is just, they play at a different speed and a different tempo when Dak's there because he's a true leader. It could be a really, really good season for your Dallas Cowboys. And I totally agree, Rob. 30 points a game is good enough if the defense is getting timely stops. Bend but don't break. All the cliches.
All of those cliches. And it's also kind of the Zeke contract was done a couple of years ago. It's kind of a Fisher cut bait for him. It's not a matter of perform or you're going to get traded. But I do think if this year this offense moves and those wide receivers are effective and Dak is Dak in this offense that's built around him, and Tony Pollard is used in a way that I
forgot about Pollard. I love Pollard.
Yes. So if Pollard turns out to be that, and McCarthy turns out to be the McCarthy of the Green Bay Packers era, where 50 passes a game doesn't bother him at all because a lot of these passes are short and it's a run game. Well, Pollard is more about that. He's much better. He's a good running back, don't get me wrong, and he's fine between the tackles, better than we expected, or he would have been already gone.
For a little guy, for sure.
But him in space,
He's a home run hitter.
He is.
He's a home run hitter.
And if you get him out, that is an effective run game if used in an appropriate way. The Packers have done it forever. Look at what the Chiefs do. Look at what Hilaire and all those guys are capable of. And they might run the ball, 10 times, but they're touching it 22 times.
Yeah. I think we're going to find out this year or the year after, year 2 and 3, was it McCarthy or was it Aaron? Can McCarthy coach, or did he just have one of the top 5, top 10 best QBs of all time? We're going to find out a lot about McCarthy. Does he command the respect of a lot? Because to me, I still haven't. That guy that would come to the podium in Green Bay was confident, spoke very matter-of-factly. The guy that I've seen so far with Dallas is he's toned down. I don't know. The shoulders kind of down. The body language is a little different. I want that guy that they had in Green Bay. In Green Bay, it was like McCarthy. He didn't shy away from confrontation with Aaron Rodgers. You see him screaming and biting guys' heads off on the sideline. So we're going to find out, hey, was it McCarthy or was it Aaron?
How long do you give McCarthy?
I'll give everybody 3 years.
3 years.
I like this whole new thing we do in the NBA, NFL, MLB, where you firing guys into one season. I'm not down with that. I think everybody deserves 3 years.
Does last year count?
No.
Okay.
Because I don't care who you are.
I agree.
You lose Dak Prescott, you're not supposed to win.
The biggest issue with McCarthy that I will look at, if this team with the talent on there, I feel like if they stay healthy, they fall out of bed and win 8 games. The NFC East sucks. I mean, they don't have to do that much more to win 8 games. So mediocrity is what has been the Dallas Cowboys calling card, and my fear is they can't get out of that. That there's just enough wins to feel good, just enough success to look forward to the next week, but nothing that says this team is any closer to a Super Bowl than it was 2 years ago.
Jerry, again, in the NFL, it's hard to win games, but I don't think Jerry and Steven are going to accept anything worse than 11-6.
But you'd still give him another year.
Absolutely.
Still give him another year or two.
I still give him one more year.
If Zeke goes out and has the yips, puts it on the carpet a couple of times early, and turns into a part-time back, where do you think the Cowboys stand? Are they as good as you still expect them? If they still have the passing game to do all that, but we saw the bad Zeke last year and he can't get out of his way this year.
That's when I turn to and I look at Dak and I say, everyone's saying you're elite. We're paying you like you're elite. When you're elite, you're supposed to make up for your pimples. You're supposed to make up for your team's pimples. So that's when I will be looking at Dak squarely in the face like, hey, Mr. Campbell Soup, what are you going to do? We can't run the ball. Fix it. When I'm paying you $160 million, I expect you to fix our deficiencies when things go bad. That you're no longer a game manager. You're no longer just the 4th round guy. You are the leader and the face of this franchise. Fix it.
You wonder.
Now, I don't know. I'm not saying he can, but that's what you were supposed to do. That's what Tom did. That's what Aaron does. And we're treating Russell Wilson doesn't have an offensive line, but yet he's still expected to go make the playoffs. No running game.
So is that just the product of the pay? That's the product of the pay.
It comes with the job.
There you go.
It comes with the job.
A group of treasure hunters were over at a Canadian lake out in Ontario. There was a boat that went down to the bottom of the lake in 1964. I bet there's an old fisherman song about it. The treasure that was found is not what you'd expect. I'll tell you what it is coming up next here on R&R in the Morning. This is San Antonio's Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
And now, a man's thoughts on San Antonio Sports Star. What were you thinking?
That escalated quickly.
This is San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar is celebrating 8 years, and we are going to party with them. Hi, Jason Minix here. Join me this afternoon for a live broadcast of the Blitz out at Slacker's North Star location. It's their 8th birthday party. It's our first live broadcast out on location in over a year. We are ready to get after it, and we've got a lot of great prizes to give away, including tickets to go to WWE Raw Live. So join us this afternoon at Slacker's North Star location and party with us and the San Antonio Sports Star.
O'Reilly. If you're ready for an oil change, trust the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts to recommend the best products for your car. Right now, get 5 quarts of Valvoline full synthetic motor oil and a Wix filter for $33.99. Plus, get a $10 gift card after mail-in rebate and double O-Rewards points. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. Got joint pain but not getting relief from drugs? And trying to avoid surgery.
So many people don't understand they have other options.
QC Kinetics co-founder Tyler Vale.
We have something that fits in between that helps so many people get their quality of life back and avoid that surgery.
QC Kinetics is the leader in biologic therapies for treating pain. Regenerative restorative treatments to repair and restore damaged joint tissue, encouraging your body to heal itself.
Is we just want to put those areas in the right environment to heal the way that you were designed to. Your body will do the rest. It's beautiful.
And the patient satisfaction reports, astonishing.
I love when people come back in and they tell me how much not only their quality of life has changed, but a lot of time it's the spouse or it's the child or it's some loved one that's saying we're able to travel, he's able to go back to work.
Get your life back. Get pain-free. Call QC Kinetics for a free consultation today.
QC Kinetics, 210-571-0318 in Hollywood Park and Westover Hills. Call 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318.
Trade Pros. Ferguson is committed to making business with us the easiest part of your day. Ferguson.com is designed to help run your business from the office to the job site by making your day-to-day activities easier with 24/7 account access, unmatched online inventory, and on-the-go account management. And with our Pro Plus customer loyalty program, you can earn points with every online purchase, redeemable for merchandise, event tickets, trips, and more. Sign up today at Ferguson.com.
Bundling home and car insurance with Geico is so easy, your neighbors are probably already doing it. But who? Look for the signs. Do they have a home and or car? Are they saving lots of money? Do they seem unusually happy? Do they have a child named Geico?
Geico, dinner time!
Have they recently purchased a drone? That's unrelated to the Geico thing. I just really like to try one. But if you notice these other things, you may want to ask them how easy it was to bundle with Geico. Bundling is easy with Geico. Just ask your neighbors.
San Antonio Sports Star has your connection to the biggest stars in music. Keep listening to win your way in free to see John Mayer live in concert, April 20th, 2022 at Moody Center in Austin. From San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Hey, this is Jason Fitz, and you're on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
It's R&R in the morning. Don't mind them brake lights. We'll get you where you're going. He's Rudy J. I'm Rob Thompson. Thanks for hanging with us. Now, after work today, your presence is requested. I would go beyond requested and say required. San Antonio Sports Star is hitting the road for the first time in over a year. We are actually going to have a live broadcast in somewhere other than mine or Minix's kitchen or our studios. Jason Minix has taken the Blitz out to Slackers for their 8th anniversary party at North Star, right on Rector Road, just behind North Star Mall. It is going to be a blast. We're all going to be hanging out there. The Blitz crew, the R&R in the morning, halftime, Pledger, part of all that. We're all going to be out there today. Come out and hang with us. The party will be all evening. The show will be from 4 to 7. That's Slackers Sports and Arcade Bar out at North Star. That's the home for our Rock the Mic champions. I've had many a fine evening in Slacker Sports and Arcade Bars. The Rector location is where we'll be today, and it's been a year and a half in the making. We are so excited to be out and about. Come hang with us and Jason Minix as he does the Blitz. Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar. We'll be getting there early and staying late. I hope you'll do the very same. It's a big party. Slacker's 8th anniversary, too.
I know. That didn't feel like 8 years. That just lets you know how fast time is going.
Frank and the guys that, they've got several Slackers around town now. They just opened a brand new one a couple months back that in the medical center, and they're open early for all you, overnight shifts, those third shift types that are getting off work. They're open early for you guys in the medical center. They run a great bar, and he's balanced. There's the slick bar, and then there's the dive bar.
Okay.
I'm not a big slick bar kind of guy. I like the slick bar periodically, but normally slick bars have those expensive drinks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The slick bars where, everybody is like really done up and dressed. It's a night out. Then there's the dive bar that you're not sure, but it probably in the last 36 hours, somebody bled somewhere in the building or in the parking lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It is far away from that, but it's not a slick bar. It's a perfect hangout bar. And
right in between, right in the middle.
Yeah. Finding that medium for a bar owner, that's a difficult thing. And they've gotten it. So we're excited to be out there. Come and hang with us. And it's to be the first time I've gone to an evening or an afternoon road broadcast where I can drink from the moment I walk in the door. Just start.
Is this our first time sharing an adult beverage?
I think it might be.
So I get to really know how you feel about me.
Things get weird.
Well, here, have another one, Rob. So what do you really think about me?
Maybe when we're there, I'll order you a Canadian whiskey.
Let's talk about it.
Let's find the Canadian whiskey story. So there was there's a group of scientists, treasure hunters up in Canada. And they decided that there was some treasure at the bottom of this lake in Canada that they wanted. It went down back in 1964. And I thought it was a lot older than that. And 40-year-old bourbon is not unheard of. But a shipment of whiskey went down in the middle of this lake, Otter's Lake, back in 1964. They went down and they found it. They found a boat full of whiskey produced by Gooderham and Worts.
Gooderham and Worts.
The brand was discontinued in the 90s.
I was just about to ask. That was my next question. Are they still around?
69-year-old bourbon found at the bottom of a lake.
I'm down.
Are you?
I'm down.
Would you drink it?
Yeah.
I think I probably would too.
I mean, are these in barrels?
No, it's bottles. There's a picture.
So there's no more aging to it.
No. See, I've heard of, those like 500-year-old bottles of wine. Now I know alcohol on its own never goes bad to the extent that there's something in there that will kill you apart from maybe an increased alcohol content. But
Right.
you see when they find like 500-year bottle of wine and people will open it up and drink it.
What are you against? Are you opposed?
I don't know if I would do that. I would let you taste it first. Or not you, but I'd let somebody else drink it first.
Look, man. If it's bottled, it's sealed.
I don't know.
I'm down.
I see that on television, and I don't know if I would do it. Last night, going to bed, I have another question for you. I was watching the movie Aliens. Sigourney Weaver,
the old school,
the second one where they're going to the planet, and she's got the little girl that was hiding out and was smarter than the aliens. That one with another one I'm talking about, the second one. And she's on the ship with the Marine Force, that Marine crew that's going to go down.
I'm following.
And she says, can I help? Is there anything I can do to help? And they go, well, what can you do? And she goes, well, I could run a something loader. And it's a big like robot body. She clamps herself into it and has like forklift on.
Yes.
When that first came out back, what was that? Early 80s, mid 80s. I thought those were going to be a thing.
You thought that was going to, like, we were going to be
Like a
walking
walker
around
of-
and see that?
We have the technology now. We have the battery power. We have everything to do that. Why don't we have those?
I think we do. They're just in.
Do we have them?
I think we do. They're just probably somewhere on the government.
Can I get one?
Like on base or something.
Well,
Can you get one?
Well, when I watched it, I thought,
you need G14 classified,
Well, I can see why it didn't take the place of the forklift, because the forklift can pick things up and like speed away. You know, if it's a big warehouse, you don't want one of those big robot things walking around. It would slow things down. But for like around the house, can you imagine if you had this big robot exoskeleton suit that you could like clamp and lift things and move? Why don't we have access to that?
You know what? I've asked myself the same thing about flying cars, but I don't know, Rob. That's a great question.
Because you can get the Segways; those are out and about, and that's a pretty. I've
those.
seen the wheelchairs that can climb stairs. That's the coolest thing I've ever seen. I was in a grocery store one time, and there was a guy in a wheelchair that it lifted him up, so it looked like he was kind of walking, but he was in a wheelchair, and he could reach things up on the top.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. That's technology.
That's technology
helping us.
Right.
Why don't I have access to the giant exoskeleton walk around forklift thing? I know it would be expensive, but if it's not appropriate for some of the larger industrial settings, I could put it to use.
Like, you think the people at Sam's or Costco couldn't use it too?
Those kind of things.
Yeah, Sam's, Costco could use this robot. No, I'm serious, but it would take a job away.
Yeah, it would take a job away from somebody maybe. But I'll tell you, that thing works. That was one of those things in the 80s. You go, I wonder if we'll have that in the future. And now it is the future, at least to them. And all the technology they talked about, we have, and we still don't have that.
Interesting.
Because the battery power, that was always an issue. Now we can run a car for 300 miles on a battery charge. So we could do that. The hydraulics, that's cool. But think about if you had those big clamper arms and you could lift up a car at home.
I know, right? Change the oil real quick, get up under there.
Do whatever you need, man. You need to pull a stump out of the ground. Let me go clamp on my exoskeleton and get to work. You need to lift something heavy or paint something high. You're in your thing.
I don't know, Rob. But you can tell basketball's over when you're watching Alien 2.
That's very true.
When Alien 2 is on, what did it look like though? Like the graphics look like, oh my gosh. Well, because remember when it first came out, we were like, oh my gosh. And then when you watch it in 2021, what does it look like?
A lot of it still holds up.
Okay.
Now there's still some scenes where you see the ship flying through the clouds where you can still see that little white line around it where it was kind of photoshopped onto some other screen. You still see that. But I'll tell you, the Alien itself holds up.
The Alien holds up.
Yeah. So does Sigourney Weaver. Still working out. She didn't have my wife was like, who runs around in panties like that when an alien's chasing you?
Hollywood.
Well, we were watching that and she goes, notice from the first movie where she was running around in basically nothing to the next movie, she goes, it was 57 years later. She's a little bit more modest.
You have to be. I think the gravity takes hold of you. You don't want to be running around in your drawers.
Yeah, as we talk about women's underwear, Carl goes, it's break zone. It's time to get out from here.
Look, Shoning's uncomfortable.
I completely agree. Coming back, let's dive back into Texas and Texas A&M. Boy, is the rivalry coming back? Are they going to play on the regular? Is Texas going to be in the SEC in just a matter of weeks or years? What are we going to do there? We'll talk about it coming up at 9 o'clock. You're on R&R in the morning, and this is San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Summer is all about the sunshine.
Baseball's All-Star Game.
Getting wet to cool off.
And patiently waiting for football season to get here.
Pass the time and win some summer cash. We're giving away $1,000 each weekday.
Listen for the winning keyword at 7, 10, 1, 4, and 6. And enter that keyword at sasportstar.com.
Money to buy those season tickets you've been wanting to score. Official rules online at sasportstar.com. San Antonio Sports Star.
ESPN 1250
and 94.5 FM.
Running a business comes with pressure. Remote workforces, HR compliance, retaining top talent. You start to feel boxed in. Fortunately, there's Insperity. They put 30 plus years of HR service and technology to work, offering my employees competitive benefit options while lightening my HR load. Instead of obstacles, I'm surrounded by people empowered to be their best. With Insperity, nothing seems impossible. Insperity, HR that makes a difference.
Liberty Mutual Insurance Company presents
And Doug.
And we're back with Limu, Emu, and Doug for the final question. Category is things you climb. All right, Limu, what do you think? You sure? We're going with Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance so you only pay for what you need. Oh, so close. We were looking for stairs. Huh. Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
At Lowe's, we know your home is an expression of you, and we see you walking down these aisles of possibility, running your finger on that marble top Allen & Roth vanity, regularly $5.99, but now $3.49, and finding that perfect rattan pendant at an everyday low price of $99.98. In our showrooms of style, you'll find whatever you're into at a price you'll really get into. Lowe's, home to any budget, home to any possibility. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. See associate at Lowe's.com for details. Valid through 8/29/21. U.S. only.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
We're planning a trip to Spain later this year.
But our Spanish is...
It's pretty bad. So we're using Babbel.
Babbel's conversation-based method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive, bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
There's no easier way to learn another language.
Ahora hablamos español.
He just said now we speak Spanish.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free. Just go to Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
Prescription products require an online consultation. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information.
My husband's ED was affecting our marriage. When he first started experiencing ED, it was difficult for both of us. We didn't know who to talk to about it or where to get help. HIMSS was our answer. HIMSS connected my husband with a licensed provider online. He was able to get medication to treat his ED at a fraction of the price people pay for the name brand. It was delivered to our door, and guess what? Our sex life is back. It works.
Right now, get your first online provider's visit totally free when you go to forhims.com/love. Yep, free. No copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. Just the care you need.
Thanks to HIMSS, we got our sex life and our marriage back.
To start your free online visit, go to this exclusive address, forhims.com/love. That's forhims.com/love for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/LOVE.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Reddit user Flamo Damo says, "This is the worst phone I've owned. People are always bothering me about it. I'm scared just to use my phone in public, as a random someone may just give me a stupid grin or whisper to their friends. I cannot stand the fact that I just can't relate to normal phones anymore."
Are you ready for this life? Find out at Samsung.com/reserve. That's Samsung.com/reserve.
I need some backup. I got to get these trucks to Tuscaloosa by Tuesday.
Trevor's Trucking needs 3 18-wheeler drivers with commercial licenses ASAP, or his company will stall.
If we don't move the rigs before this weekend, we're going to be in trouble.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. With Indeed Instant Match, we immediately show you quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed meet your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Don't miss the savings during Lowe's Just for Pros event. Stop by the Pro Desk and get an extra 5% off volume savings orders over $1,500. Plus, look for more savings across the store, including tools, paint, lighting, and other pro essentials to help you get the job done right. Shop today at Lowe's, the new home for pros. Discount on eligible product only and reflected in quote. Terms and exclusions apply. See Pro Desk in store for details. Now through July 30th. U.S. only.
Goodyear believes in the power of moving forward. No matter if it's on the track, the court, or the field, movement makes us want to be more. It pushes us to go further, to show the world what we can do. Movement has the unique ability to change our perspective, to challenge us, to work for a better tomorrow. Movement can even bring us together when we're still. Because if we're focused on the next move, we don't have to worry about what's behind us. Goodyear, more driven.
Live, local, loud. KZDC, San Antonio Sports Star. ESPN, AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Rob Thompson, Rudy J. R&R in the morning.
Good morning.
R&R in the morning. He's Rudy J. I'm Rob Thompson. Carl Schoenig directing and producing us all the way to 10 o'clock. Hope you settled into work. Martinez didn't come down the hall and make you head out and do that thing you normally have to do. Hopefully you're settled in for the day. Maybe you're taking tomorrow off. It is nearly the weekend.
Carl's taking tomorrow off.
Carl's going to Mexico. When you interview somebody for a new gig and the first thing they say is, that first week, That first week. How are you on that first week, Friday and Monday absenteeism? And if you're good with Monday, how's Tuesday and Wednesday too?
Load management.
Yeah, he's already getting load managed.
Got to pace myself. You guys know how hard it is to wake up in the 3 o'clock hour? I have never woken up in the 3 o'clock hour in my life before, so I deserve a little vacation after the first week.
Oh, how old are you again?
I'm 30.
At 30, Carl, I could paint the town, stroll in here at 3, get the show together, and be and sleep later on. At 30, now 44, I'm like, Rob, dog, can we do it from home?
Yes.
I couldn't do it. At 30, I could stroll in here at 3 after partying all night.
It's funny. The older I'm getting, the easier it is to get up early.
Oh yeah,
it doesn't kill me. It doesn't knock me out.
I always wonder. Yeah, me too.
And I get colder easier.
No, you don't. It's. I feel like a Twin Peaks beer in here. I'm a Twin Peaks beer. That's what Rob. 29 degrees in here.
You should have known me 10 years ago. You'd be in a coat.
Oh, it was worse.
I'm just telling you. I feel like I get cold easier now.
Yeah.
Why is it so cold in here?
You notice, Walita always got a blanket on. It could be 90 degrees in the house. Walita got a blanket over her legs.
Yes.
So I
like
get
my
it.
house. Hey, we're giving away $1,000 here in just an hour or so.
Let me get on my phone. What's the keyword?
It
Can
has,
on-air win?
It has something to do with something summer. Might be sticky. Might be hot dog. Might be sweat. Those are our summer keywords.
Mosquito.
All those. That's our San Antonio Sports Star Summer Cash Contest every day at 7, 10, 1, 4, and 6. We're going to give you a keyword. Take that keyword, go to sasports.com, enter it, and you could win $1,000. Another reason it pays to listen to the San Antonio Sports Star all day, every day, as we are apt to say. This hour, we're talking Dallas Cowboys, looking at Texas A&M in Texas, and a variety of the news tidbits that cross our computer screens as Carl's going to give us his daily headlines. It's the news you need to know, the 411 and the 210, and here in just a couple of minutes. But the news of the day, the news that's going to rock college football,
that's all that
to
matters.
Its core, is yesterday afternoon, Texas A&M and Oklahoma are evidently negotiating, working, trying to exit the Big 12 and join the SEC. The Houston Chronicle dropped a phenomenal column yesterday explaining the situation as we sit right now. But I can tell you this, no matter what happens, whether Texas and OU actually come to the SEC or make it to the ACC or the SEC, the Big 12, as it sits today, as it's made up today, is imminently dead.
Just a matter of time when we pull the cord.
This is it, because if I'm Oklahoma State, if I'm Texas Tech, if I'm Baylor holding a ring, holding a ship, the only one in the Big 12 holding one up recently, and you guys want to leave, I'm on the phone. I'm out. Now, the agreement that has kept the Big 12 together will expire in 2025.
Oh, well, the reason why this is huge, Rob, is because of who it is. It's a national story.
Yes,
this isn't a regional story because it's that, like you said early in the 7 o'clock hour. This is a domino effect. This could change the Pac-12. This could change the Big 10, the ACC, depending on where everyone disperses to. This is far from a regional topic. This is going to affect everyone.
And you could Texas A&M types. Well, we had the divorce. Things we were just about ready to start letting our kids visit each other. We're just about to have some unsupervised visits after the bad blood had washed under for the last decade. Seriously,
right?
Seriously. I mean, as an Aggie of an age, when this happened, when the breakup happened a decade ago, and it was all over a TV deal that failed, that was in its very beginnings, everybody knew, well, not everybody, Texas types didn't, but everybody else looked around and said, you can't have one team in a conference have their own TV network. And one expected to be successful. The arrogance to say, we're going to have a TV network dedicated only to reruns of past successes. That's it.
Yeah.
I don't know how long they've been on, a decade. Have they ever broadcast a losing game? Has the Longhorn Network ever shown a loss in any sport at any time?
I don't know. I would doubt it.
That kind of limits your catalog of available things. You're not always great, and so that there's not a whole lot of Texas football being shown on the Big 12 or on the Longhorn Network because you lose the games, they don't show it. So the arrogance of that, and then to go through 5 years later to go, well, A&M's been gone 5 years ago. There was, well, we need to expand. We're going to have to try to grow this thing, and they start farming out the idea of Brigham Young and UConn and. Who else was mentioned in there? UCF was a high possibility there. University of Houston certainly sitting out there deserving
they gotta be in
of
the conversation,
that.
Yes.
So then they go, well, no, that's not going to work. We're gonna hang tight. And then behind the scenes, within weeks of athletic director Del Conte and what's his name from OU saying how firmly they're part of the Big 12. Within weeks, we find out that they're negotiating to leave.
You're not excited at the opportunity to get to play them again.
So here,
do you want to play them? Where are you at on that? I never know.
I do not want to play them. I think an entire generation needs to pass. I think there's been too much that needs to go away. When this begins again, when it does, if it was to be organic and it would to be, two conferences and two teams negotiating to meet once a year. We would still be, I still think we would be a decade away. I think 20 years would need to pass before we renewed that. Because I would think the people that were the stakeholders and the arrogance and the losers and the mentalities, all of that, all the baggage that I carry, we got to all go away. We just need to go away because I have it goes far deeper than just a football game.
See, okay, then that's where we get to. Because my thing is, I would think you would want to because you have the better team and you would want the opportunity to step on their necks.
I would, but that's a cyclical thing. What has to change as far as in the 3 days, it's only been a couple of days. In the last, this is no joke. Within the last 3 days on my social media, from either an affiliated or part of the University of Texas Athletic Department was a post, and I believe it was on Facebook. It could have been Twitter. They're posting Aggie jokes within the last 3 days. It's funny Aggie joke. I'm not against Aggie
hilarious.
Jokes.
It was hilarious.
I'll go ahead and tell everybody what the Aggie joke was. So for Aggie astrophysicists and explorers had gathered together and they'd come to put together a plan. They wanted to map the face of the earth, the face of the sun. They wanted to send an expedition to the face of the sun to go map the sun. It would be a groundbreaking expedition. They're explaining what their plans are to a group of select scientists and explorers from across the country. A Texas scientist raised his hands and goes, "You can't go to the sun. You'll all burn up." And the Aggie replied, "Yeah, we thought of that. We're going to go at night." That was on my social media with an attachment, if not directly from the University of Texas Athletic Department, someone or something very closely affiliated to.
So you're like, y'all making jokes about us still, which that's never going to change.
No.
But yet you want to come over here.
But you can't. From my perspective, I don't know how to put. You need to come to this SEC hat in hand and say, "We need you. You don't need us. We need you." And I think Texas and to some extent OU probably approached it like SEC needs us. They with us.
They better not.
We're really gonna kick them over the top and really make. No, we don't need you.
No,
and I say we, even though I am the newest adoptee in this big family. I've only been around a decade.
SEC doesn't need Texas and OU. I think they're doing fine just without them. They still getting 10 million kids drafted to the NFL every year with or without Texas.
But it's the arrogance of Texas fan that I need to hear the counter, the opposite to that. I need hat in hand. Hey, we're in a bad strait. Decisions made by previous administrations and previous Longhorns did not pan out the way that we expected.
This is personal.
I'm looking at deeply personal.
It is personal with you, man. You like, screw the football game. I don't like how you handled us. So what if they did issue an apology? then are you good?
Yes.
And you don't speak for everyone, but I'm just saying.
And it's not an apology. I need some contriteness. I need the arrogance to go away. You can be arrogant in the Big 12 when you get to take on Kansas a couple times a year and own Texas Tech and poach each other's coaches, take what you want and run roughshod across the conference. This is the SEC. You don't get to be that anymore. You don't get to be what you've been for 100 years in the Southwest Conference. You don't get to be what you've been since 1996 in the Big 12. You don't get to be what you've been since A&M left. That has to go away. It's either going to get beaten out of you, or you're going to have to go ahead and admit it, that now you're in a conference with Alabama, got enough rings that you have no idea. You get in a conference with LSU, got enough rings recently, you got no idea. And you're coming and joining a team that is much better today than they were when they walked away from a dying conference and an argument with a spouse, with a brother, the separation, the Cain and Abel. This is not the same Texas A&M it was 10 years ago.
My partner said what he said.
So you have to come in with that kind of attitude. Hey. You are no longer the 40 acres. You're just Texas, another team on the schedule for most of the conference. For us, it will always be different. But for Auburn, you're just another chance to beat down a Texas school and come in and recruit. That's what you will become. You need to accept Florida. That.
You might have to play Florida. You might have to play Georgia. This is big boy football. It's a big boy football, and A&M had to get it out the mud. They had to get it out the mud, and now they're to the point where it's like, hey, you know what? They may have a shot depending on who Alabama's QB is. So, yeah, I knew my partner was going to come with that fire today.
Now, we'll continue to talk, and the realists will come out because this is a great thing for college sports.
Yes.
In the grand scape of things, OU and Texas joining the SEC.
LSU and Texas in baseball.
All of it. The baseball will improve significantly. The basketball that will now be part of the SEC, which is going to start rivaling the other conference. It is great for college sports. It is just something that's a family affair that's going to have to be settled on the side. We're going to continue to talk that, look at the Dallas Cowboys, talk Olympics. But what we have Carl Schoenig actively doing as we speak is collating and finding the news articles that are important to you that you need to know for the rest of the day. It is time for the 411 and the 210. Carl Schoenig.
That is right. It is the 411 and the 210, and I'm going to try something at the end of this that we have not done yet, and y'all get to see what that surprise is, and hopefully it doesn't send us into a spot block. We'll have to see how that goes. So, headline 2 is a wild bear has broken into the Olympic softball complex and is still on the loose. Yeah, Olympic Committee people are trying to find this bear as it broke into the complex, and they don't want it to come back during games.
Is this black bear, grizzly bear? Black bear, we can talk. Grizzly bear, I'm out.
I'm pretty sure it's a black bear. They specified what type of bear it is. It's a Japanese bear.
What are you talking about? Like one's better than the other. It's a bear.
The black bear sometimes they just want to hang out and be nosy.
This ain't no panda bear.
I don't trust pandas.
This is a bear. Yeah. I didn't even know Japan had bears.
They're trying to scare it out of the woods by making loud sounds and all kinds of things. Firing off fireworks.
Where is the village at? Oh no, this is a softball.
This is the softball complex, which is actually a baseball field, and softball fans are mad about that. But I mean, unfortunately, that's what's going on with that. So there's just all kinds of complex things going on over there. So they are headline number 1, just to kind of keep it serious here. Staying in USA softball, they defeated Canada 1-0, and they improved to 2-0 on the Olympic season early on. And headline 0, this is what I want to try. Jerry Jones says that he'd do anything to make a Super Bowl, but let's hear right from Jerry. Don't trust me on it.
I'd do anything known to man to get in a Super Bowl. That's a fact. And there's nothing in my mind that can have a higher priority than that.
So y'all hear it there. Highest priority for Jerry Jones, winning a Super Bowl. That's probably always been his
green, water is wet.
Yeah, that's been his top priority. But I had that cut, thought I'd use it, and y'all can go ahead and go on.
I think, Carl, it spoke to the desperation that I do think is creeping into the Jerry Jones psyche, that he truly sees the end. He's gone through a year of COVID and, all the separation and all the things he's had to deal with. And it took him 1 year further away from realizing the dream that you taste it early and you chase it for your whole life. You come into that that Captain Ahab white whale kind of desperation. And Jerry's always done things at 100%, but now when you see the end, when you see, you know, my viable years are coming closer and closer to its end, you wonder how desperate he will become and how quickly the trigger will be pulled for coaching changes and player trades and all the things that you don't do or you wait and you consider when you have 1,000-yard view or that long-term stare. But when you're looking at short time, sometimes you make rash decisions. And that can be good and bad, but rash never works out in the long run.
How old is Jerry now? What is he?
He's got to be nearly 80. Well,
yeah,
we
I
have
just
these
know
boxes right here.
I just know the older I get, the more emotional I get. So when I see Jerry Jones crying, I fully understand. It doesn't take much to make me cry. It'd be a movie. It could be 78. Yeah. See, I'm 44, and it don't take much for the waterworks to turn on. So I can't imagine what I'm at 78, and I'm getting emotional and I'm reflecting. You know, who knows? Maybe he wins one and he, you know, says, all right, Steven, I'm out. I'll be watching from the boat.
Do you think that could happen? Do you think Jerry could step aside and
retire,
just be
like
the face of the franchise, but make
no GM decisions?
None. Do you think that could happen with him alive? You do? I think it would be, as far as the transition of power and all that, that'd be the ideal situation. I just don't think it could happen.
You don't think he can do it?
I don't think he could. I don't think he would. I'm not sure Steven would even let it happen. You know what I mean? I think he wants to take control, but it's always good to have. Jerry takes a lot of the bullets. Jerry takes bullets and arrows and all of that, and he loves it. I don't know. I wonder if Steven loves that part of the job as much as Jerry did.
I think Steven has not totally opposite, but I think Steven has some different philosophies, and it's going to be I think it's going to be a lot different once he's like in full control.
Right.
Once he's in full control, it's going to be a lot different. I'm not going to say he's going to be ran better because Jerry's a legend, but I think Steven, he's out of respect for his father. He still values his opinion and still lets him have his way in some areas. But I think once Steven's in full control, you're going to see a lot different organization. And I'm not saying it's for better or for worse. I just think he has different. I mean, you respect your father, but I'm sure there's certain things y'all have different philosophies on. You know,
and I think that gambler's edge that Jerry brought, Steven will carry with him. But I do think.
Oh, you think that?
Yeah, I do think there'll be that because, you know, no risk it, no biscuit. You know, that kind of idea. That's always been Jerry. You know, when you're an oil guy and you're drilling dry holes, you got to have a pretty positive disposition to go after that next one after you just lost $1 million on the last one.
Right.
So I think that Steven was raised with that kind of no risk it, no biscuits attitude, but with a little bit more of a conservative approach. I don't think you'd see Steven as GM making that trade for Amari Cooper. I don't think he'd have done that.
Well, Steven talked him out of Manziel,
right?
Didn't he, reportedly?
So I think that we'd see a slightly different thing. I want to go back to something that Carl just said,
which I
did not know. So the Olympics, we're playing softball on a baseball field.
Yeah, they seem pretty upset about that. I mean, I understand it's not a softball field. They've just shortened everything.
So what's the difference? The
softball, there's no grass on the infield.
There's no mound. The bases are 60 feet away instead of 90 feet away. The fence is shorter. There's a handful of things I didn't know about the what is it? It's mostly dirt. That's true.
It's all
that's definitely playing into the fact that softball is a faster sport because of that dirt. The grass probably slows it down. I imagine that changes the competitiveness. I didn't think about that. That's true.
Well, I haven't seen the field, so I don't know. Is it all?
I haven't seen it either. I just seen
all the way in.
I just didn't pay attention. I've seen the highlights, but I didn't pay attention to what the field looked like.
I also didn't know softball was played any place other than the United States and maybe Canada. I didn't think if you were like cruising the back roads of Italy, you'd see a softball field someplace.
Good point. I don't know.
I didn't know it was a worldwide.
But
sport.
I would be upset too. I mean, it's the Olympics. Like, respect our sport. Put us on the proper field. You're not going to put the basketball team, you know, on a different type of gym floor. Why would you do that to the women on the softball field? So I get that.
Last night I was no basketball.
Alien 2.
I fell asleep watching Alien 2. I hope Newt survived. I didn't get to see the I'm betting she does.
I think she did.
My wife is walk in from the kitchen, and my wife is watching an Olympic special in NBC as they prepare as the home of the Olympics, and evidently Maria Taylor, which we'll talk about in a bit.
Yes.
The Jonas Brothers did an Olympic special. Three Jonas. First of all, I didn't realize they were in their 30s, but they're all in their 30s.
They've been around a while. I can see that.
They look pretty good. I mean, I thought they were younger. So 3 brothers, and they volunteered to go and participate in 3 different Olympic events. One, they all got on their Olympic track clothes and went and ran the low hurdles, which was awkward at best. Then they did a little gymnastics routine where they were doing
like a floor exercise.
Yeah, kind of. That was tough to watch.
Yeah,
and one of them came out with the little ribbon dance where they have the
and you jump and you throw the ribbon.
Yeah, that was
different.
Different. But you're a performer. You get out there and do it. But my wife found it funny, so we're sitting there watching. And then the highlight of this entire special, they went to go learn to be bicycle cross. What's it called?
BMX.
BMX. They got them in the helmet and the pads and everything, and they were showing them on the bikes, and they're teaching them to get on the starting line. And that thing falls, and you go up and down the hill.
Gate ramp, whatever.
This was a race. It wasn't the half pipe or the one where you do all the tricks. This was going to be the race. Well,
Is it dirt?
It's dirt. It's dirt and up and down. It would be a lot of fun if you were coordinated and young and able to do that kind of stuff. But
let's be clear.
But to do all that, I mean, we didn't have that when we were kids. I always wanted to do that. So they get to do it, and they're practicing. So they're going to do their heat. They're going to race, and they all look alike to me. The Jonas Brothers. There's one that's more famous than the other 2, but I don't know which one actually.
Don't get me started.
One of them just went right off the bike. The race starts. They're at top speed. He's trying to pedal. I don't know what happens. He falls off the bike. The other brother plows into him behind. It is a wreck, the likes of which we haven't seen since the beginning of the Tour de France with a bad sign.
That's what I was going to ask you. Did it look like the
Tour de France? It looked a lot like that. Well, one of the Jonas boys goes over the top and gets up, and he's hurt. This dude is hurt, like hurt. But you don't know if it's injured or hurt right then. Like, are you movie star hurt or are you like athlete hurt? One of what's the difference? They ended up having to call an ambulance to get this dude out. Rolled his ass out he hurt his back.
I'm sure NBC made them sign something. Like, we're going to do this and we're going to pay you guys. Y'all are going to have to sign something that says if you get hurt, you're not suing us. So clearly they signed a waiver, right?
I don't know. I'd like to think so. What's the craziest thing you've done as a radio guy that you've been asked to do?
Like, as far as
like in front of people, like, hey, Rudy J, you're a star. Come out and be in front of us and do this.
I did a slip and slide into a big old pool of barbecue sauce. I lost a bet.
Well done. All right. No, I've never had. The worst thing.
That was the only thing. What about you?
I had to. I've thrown out the first pitch at the Missions game before.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm. You know what? And y'all have a relationship with the Missions. I've never been asked to do the first pitch at the Missions.
I think after I did it, they stopped asking other people to do it. I know.
What did yours look like?
Actually, I threw a strike, bro. I kid you not. I kid you not.
I need footage, or it didn't happen.
I wish I had footage. I have witnesses. I
you got witnesses?
My brother will vouch.
Okay, I'm gonna ask Jason.
There was pressure, but if you're the Jonas Brothers and they're asking you to do that and you get hurt, don't you go say, why don't you? Maybe you shouldn't broadcast that. That didn't.
Maybe edit that out.
That didn't put me in the best light because I look,
but I think
goofy and uncoordinated.
As entertainers, they know that was the best part. They're entertainers. You want that in.
You think so? Would you? If we had gone out, you would.
Yeah, you wouldn't?
No.
That's our ratings.
Maybe, but I don't want to.
Me doing a ribbon routine isn't going to get ratings. But me wiping out.
I beg to differ.
But did they have on the leotard?
They in every sport they were wearing the prescribed
supposed
attire.
to wear.
And the gymnastic things got a little uncomfortable. I'm just saying. Much like the Norwegian sand handball team.
Did we get them back in bikinis?
Let's hope.
What's the update?
We haven't heard yet.
Okay.
But they were wearing something akin to that, and it was probably too much.
Probably.
Ready to take a break? We're going to give away.
Over there doing yoga.
He's got the theta
He's always
music
moving
going.
his arms.
I have a pair of John Mayer tickets burning a hole in my pocket. Let's give away some John Mayer tickets when we come back. He'll be at the Moody Center in April of next year. And give away those tickets coming up next. Talk some more sports. That's what we do here. This is R&R in the morning. We're glad you are with us. This is San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Sports Center is brought to you by Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds. Available at H-E-B.
I'm James Pledger, and in college football, according to a report from Brent Tournament of the Houston Chronicle, the Texas Longhorns and Oklahoma Sooners have reached out to the SEC about joining the conference. Texas A&M Athletic Director Ross Bjork was not a fan of the report.
We want to be the only SEC program in the state of Texas. There's a reason why Texas A&M left the Big 12, to be standalone, to have our own identity, and that's our feeling.
According to Jason Whitley of WFAA in Dallas, early next week, both schools will send a letter to the Big 12 stating neither will renew their media contracts when they expire in 2025, and they'll petition the SEC for membership. In Major League Baseball, the Astros fell to the Indians 5-4, while the Rangers fell to the Tigers 4-2. They'll finish that series today at noon, a game you can catch right here. I'm James Pledger for San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
This is Rob Thompson for Alamo Cycleplex. Weekend is almost here, and as you head in and around work and doing all your weekly deals, do you have something to look forward to on the weekend? Do you have something in your garage that you know every weekend from here on out you can head out into the great outdoors and enjoy yourself? Alamo Cycleplex has 7 brands of the finest motorsport toys you're going to find. Inventory to back up what they've got, a great pre-owned selection, and a sales and service staff the likes of which you're not going to find around San Antonio. Alamo Cycleplex. They're over on De Zavala and I-10, just on the west side of 10, easy to get to. And when you get there, 7 of the best brands you can find under one roof. The likes of Kawasaki and Polaris and Honda, Suzuki, Yamaha, Vanderhall, just to name a few. If you've got some needs around the lease and you need a 4-wheeler around there, they've got them. If you've got some fun in the sun and you want to head out and dune buggy around on those fast Honda Talons, they've got those too. Adventure bikes on the road and on the dirt, they've got them for sure. But I'll tell you, the best time I have had outside of my home, if you know what I mean, in a long time, is the Polaris Slingshot. That 3-wheel vehicle, the likes of which I haven't ridden on. Well, I don't even know if they've ever been anything like that. Run around the highway on 3 wheels of fun, both the Slingshot and the Vanderhall. They've got them there. Alamo Cycleplex has the inventory you need, the service you expect, and all the financing required to get the toys in your home. They buy your bikes as well. If you've got something sitting in your garage that's gathering dust, hey, give them a call. You can go onto their website at alamocycleplex.com and even value your trade. Don't forget Bike Night is August the 4th. Circle that. That's the first Wednesday of every month, and Bike Night is a blast. They'll be hosting all of San Antonio and the motorsport types. There's live music, food, free, by the way, expositions, all kinds of stuff. It's a good family fun event. I've gone to the last 4. I recommend going to this one. That's August the 4th. Alamo Cycleplex. You have earned the fun, and the fun starts there. Alamo Cycleplex.
Think about it. What's pain keeping you from doing this summer? Right? It's a long list of things you enjoy, but no more, thanks to QC Kinetics and their new long-term solutions for pain relief. Hey, it's James Pledger with ESPN San Antonio. The natural biologic treatments at QC Kinetics address the root cause of pain in your knees, shoulders, hips, or back, helping deliver the relief you need so badly. Listen, don't spend one more day in pain. Call QC Kinetics today and get started on the road to recovery. The biggest regret for QC Kinetics patients is that they didn't start their treatments and feel better sooner. Call now to learn more about these regenerative alternatives that take place in the office the same day. No downtime. 210-571-0318. Refuse to spend one more day in pain. QC Kinetics makes it possible. Locations in Hollywood Park and Westover Hills. 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. Call QC Kinetics today.
Oh, according to research, 82% of people remember radio ads. That means that 82% of you listening right now will remember that this is an ad for ZipRecruiter. If you're hiring, 82% of you will recall that ZipRecruiter makes hiring faster and easier. And 82% of you will note that you can try ZipRecruiter for free today. But you have to go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio, like where this ad plays. 82% of you will keep in mind that ZipRecruiter's technology finds qualified people for your job and actively invites them to apply.
Scott, is that you? Who are you talking to?
82% of you will also know that I live with my mom. But the most important thing to note is that ZipRecruiter works. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Will you be part of the 82% who remember where you can try ZipRecruiter for free? It's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Again, that exclusive link is ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Yes, radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
Want to hear something amazing? Discover matches all the cash back you earn on your credit card at the end of your first year, automatically, dollar for dollar, with no limit on how much you can earn. Extra cash? Come on, how amazing is that? In fact, it's even more amazing when you realize all the places where Discover is accepted. 99% of places in the US that take credit cards. So when it comes to Discover, get used to hearing yes more often. Learn more at discover.com/yes. 2021 Nielsen Report. Limitations apply.
Sports breakfast for your ears. Rob Thompson, Rudy J. R&R in the morning on San Antonio Sports Star. ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
This is San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. This is R&R in the morning. He's Rudy J. I'm Rob Thompson. Thanks for hanging with us on a Thursday morning. You know, it's funny as you sit here and know that the college football landscape's about to shift in front of you, and you know this story is going to linger and last. And while the primary combatants in this are Texas A&M, Texas, and Oklahoma for, you know, old allegiances and all of that, the rest of these conferences certainly are going to be staring very closely at this. If I'm Missouri,
I had someone tweet me about Missouri.
If I'm Missouri, there's never been they've been moderately, they were certainly early on far more successful than A&M. They stepped into the SEC and were much more equipped to compete.
They were in the title game.
Yeah. So, but they have waned over the last couple of years with their own weight. If I'm Missouri, do I want to be in the SEC just for the check?
I think when you're already in the Premier Conference, I don't think you take yourself out of it.
I agree.
You know, I think one, you're getting the money, but two, you still matter.
Because I'm not going to this whole argument that Texas A&M had to deal with is, why do you want to go and play in a conference where you're not going to win? Well, that's, you know, the plan is eventually we think we're going to win. Now, are we ready now? No, but you know, the conference, when you get there, a rising tide raises all the boats, and third place in the SEC West still pays out to a pretty good bowl game at the end of the year. Still probably playing on New Year's Day or thereabouts instead of early December. So lots of benefits, even if I never win a title, whether conference or anything else. But I don't think Missouri fits. I think Missouri would probably like to find or should find another place. Feels like they would fit pretty well in the Big Ten. I think I would put them in the Big Ten. I think Iowa State, if they had the opportunity, I'd be on the phone immediately. That just as a fit. And then you'd get the Iowa State dynamic that I guess has been lacking. I don't know. If you're Oklahoma State, that is the one school that I can't figure out what would be best for them.
And the thing about Oklahoma State, the best thing about them is they play OU once a year.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess if you're Oklahoma State, no matter what you do, you ask Oklahoma, can we keep that game so we can keep somewhat of relevance? But if I'm Oklahoma State, I think I go to the Pac-12. It's one for basketball for sure, but, you know, two, maybe, you know, we bring some respectability over to the Pac-12 on the football side. But the only reason they're relevant is because their coach is crazy and because they play OU. So hopefully you at least keep that OU game, because that's the one thing you're hoping for.
But they are kind of in a position, if OU and Texas leave, if they could garner enough support amongst the rest of the college presidents that are left in the Big 12 to be the big dog in a new conference, that, you know, maybe in lieu of Texas and OU, Houston comes back in the fold, and BYU might be an appropriate addition there. And suddenly the Big 12, while not carrying the cachet, pretty good basketball conference, certainly a really good baseball conference, and every couple of years you're going to have a top 5 football team, and Oklahoma State could win the Big 12 every year, make sure they're part of this expanded playoff. It could be the best thing that ever happened to them.
That's a great point. So, because the only thing we've been talking about is the Big 12 dispersing. We haven't talked about bringing someone in. Yeah, being the big fish in the small pond at that point.
And this, we're talking about a possible dispersion and change in 2025. The agreement that's holding the Big 12 together will last until then, and I can't foresee, just because of scheduling and non-conference games and payday games that have been scheduled way out there, I can't see anything changing initially. But that couple of years, if I'm Oklahoma State, it seems like going to the west, headed west to the Pac-12, I think that
makes the most sense.
They would make a lot of sense. And if one goes, you think they'd have to take two. And if I'm Baylor, I look at the Pac-12, I still get payday games. I don't really fit the politics or the mentality of the Pac-12. But as far as the look and feel of the campus, certainly is a lot like USC for the expense, the cost, the exclusivity of the school. Baylor and USC feel alike, although they're very, very different. I'm not trying to equate the two, but I do think that as far as the strength of their athletic department, certainly they could roll into the Big 12 and be successful and competitive in every sport immediately. So I think it'd be good for them. I'm just not sure of the fit. Baylor's a tough one.
Yeah, Baylor's a tough one, but you said it earlier in the show. Now you give the Midwest and the South a reason to stay up and watch those 9:00 Pac-12 games. Because normally most of us, unless you got action, unless you're betting a gambling man, most of us,
Right.
Texas, over toward the east, we're not paying attention to Arizona State versus Oregon State at 9:30 at night.
No, not at all.
Unless you're gambling.
And normally, yeah, it's the Oregon game you're always waiting for at 11 o'clock for the kick.
Yeah.
It would greatly expand their footprint. And of all the primary Power 5 conferences, the Pac-12 is in the weakest position right now because of exactly what you just said. Most of the country doesn't pay enough attention to it because the day is done. Their teams have played. Games are over, and the night game, it's Saturday night. I'm going out. I'm not staying in to watch USC Washington. And, that's just not something part of our viewership. But suddenly you could expand into Texas. The California schools used to recruit Texas really well. It has decreased a little bit over the years, but I'm certainly, if I'm head coach at UCLA or USC, Oregon, who've already got good footprints in Texas, I'd love to bring in a Baylor.
Bring in Baylor. You know what? For funsies, throw West Virginia in the Pac-12.
That was my next question. I'm glad you brought them up.
Make them fly across country every week.
They do anyway. They're already playing. Where would West Virginia land? Where would you put them?
You said it. Put them in the ACC. They're right there. Why wouldn't they be? They're on the Atlantic Coast. Why wouldn't they be in the Atlantic Coast?
It fits, kinda. They feel SEC-ish, but honestly,
ACC-ish?
They feel ACC-ish just by locale. By attitude, they're an SEC school. By attitude, they feel closer to an SEC school than an ACC school.
I like them for ACC because of basketball.
And I think that would be why it would be a good land. The ACC.
My man, he's still the coach over there.
Hugs is still there, hanging on.
I like him in the ACC going up against
He
those
would be
guys.
a great fit. And while you're doing it, if you're adding a Missouri, go get Maryland again, bring them home.
Yo, Maryland looks so weird in the Big Ten. It looks so weird. I don't care football, basketball. I don't want to see Maryland in the Big Ten. It's ugly.
Would you be opposed to something akin like the Big East tried to put together after it fell apart and rebuilt, and they just basically gathered together all the private Catholic schools to put together a pretty strong basketball conference?
Right.
Would you be interested in, say, a conference like that where Baylor joins Georgetown and Villanova and those Big East schools, the private schools, and you add Bradley in there, not Bradley, you add Butler in there that joined lately, the little bit closer into the Midwest.
I like that for hoops. I like it a lot for hoops. I mean, they're coming off a national title game. Villanova, Jay Wright, always competitive. I like it for basketball reasons. Football, you're going to get the short end of the stick. Let's say you run the table. You're not going to be inconsiderate. Well, who knows? Now we're expanding. So I digress.
And what I was going to say, to add to help with the football, you go pull Syracuse in. It's a basketball conference with a couple of good football teams, but the fact of the matter is that might be where Baylor flourishes the most.
Yeah.
Be a mid-level football conference, but an A1 basketball conference, and that might be absolutely appropriate for Baylor. Boy, the alumni are going to have a lot to say over the next several weeks. Alumni are going to be coming out of the woodwork for every university. Should I stay or should I go? Should we fight?
Sounds like an R&B song.
Should be.
Should I stay?
No, that's a Clash song.
Clash? Who's Clash?
The Clash.
Who's the Clash?
Ladies and gentlemen, the Clash. They're early 80s punk band.
Punk?
Well, they started out punk, but I think they grew into the new wave. We'll educate Carl Schoening on early 80s music. Next.
He knows the Clash.
You're on R&R in the morning, and this is San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Bet you can tell me when the last Spurs championship was, but can you name your congressman? Sports or politics? The answer is obvious. This is San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Welcome to Texas, where your backside will sizzle like bacon when you get in your car, unless you go to Mother's Window Tint, home of the Tint and Alarm Special, where you can also buy a new car stereo. Since 1984, Mother's Window Tint has tinted cars and trucks to keep them cooler and stop the sun from damaging their interiors. Texans like dark, privacy window tint. Come to Mother's and get some. Legal and guaranteed a lifetime. Remember to protect yourself and your family. Buy an auto alarm today from Mother's. Starter kill, remote start, GPS locator, 24-hour live monitoring. Save $100 on the tint and alarm package of your choice. Austin and San Antonio stores. MothersWindowTint.com. Remember, do it at Mother's and save.
Slacker Sports and Arcade Bar is celebrating 8 years, and we are going to party with them. Hi, Jason Minix here. Join me this afternoon for a live broadcast of the Blitz out at Slacker's North Star location. It's their 8th birthday party. It's our first live broadcast out on location in over a year. We are ready to get after it, and we've got a lot of great prizes to give away, including tickets to go to WWE Raw Live. So join us this afternoon at Slacker's North Star location and party with us and the San Antonio Sports Star.
Guys, stop putting your love life on hold. U.S. Pharmacy has some exciting news. If you've been wanting to try Viagra or Cialis, now's the perfect time. Call today and receive 90 little blue or little yellow pills for only $119 with free shipping. Why order some low-dose sildenafil from one of those subscription services when we can give you what you want now? Call 800-990-6271 and we'll rush your order discreetly packaged to your door. That's 800-990-6271.
Attorney Joe Cordell. For many men, divorce brings a bewildering sense of loss. You feel adrift, isolated, like you're the only person in the world. But the good news is, you're not alone. Cordell & Cordell is here to help. For more than 30 years, Cordell & Cordell has been there to guide men through all aspects of divorce. And we'll be there for you. Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's San Antonio area attorneys. Offices in San Antonio, Austin, and St. Louis. CordellCordell.com.
Here's pitch. Double your power. Double your fun. Double your Rangers pleasure. The exclusive action happens here on the official home plate of the Texas Rangers. ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
This is Keyshawn Johnson. San Antonio Sports Stars get you moving every morning. ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
R&R in the morning. Settle down. We're going to take you to the top of the hour. We got Rangers baseball today at noon. Halftime will be half gone and return tomorrow with only half its staff. As who gets a new gig and takes a vacation the very first week they're on the job? I don't know who to blame. I guess I'm the one. Blame me.
You told him it was okay.
My girlfriend will take that because I understand that Mexico weddings are very family oriented, and I definitely needed to make sure. She begged me to make sure I could get that this week off.
I mean, I hired you full well knowing.
Oh, I know. No.
But,
yeah,
whatever, man.
It'll be interesting.
Yeah,
I don't speak any Spanish, and she's going to basically translate all weekend for me.
You act like you haven't been to Mexico before. You been to Mexico before?
Twice. Okay. Once to build houses in Juarez during a spring break in middle school. And that was before Juarez got bad. It was a little before Juarez got really bad. And I think last year just to go to Puerto Vallarta for.
I like that you hear that accent.
You roll the R's. I'm impressed. I'm impressed by you rolling the R's.
And I'd like some enchiladas.
Okay.
I did a softball tournament in Puerto Vallarta, but I was in Austin, so I had to say it 100,000 times over the course of a weekend.
Gotcha.
It was a little crazy, but I wish I had been there because it's a beautiful place.
Well, drink as much water as you can. Drink it from everywhere.
Make sure it's
all
bottled.
It's all good.
Don't do that.
It's all good.
Don't do that.
I have a standing rule when I go to Mexico. 3 days. That's about all. Maybe 4. 4 days. Any, and no matter what I do after the 4th day, I'm gonna get something.
What do you mean?
I'm gonna get sick.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I will have ingested something. And I'll get a little bit of that revenge. And I fight that by never drinking anything but alcohol 24 hours a day.
My man.
Just stay pickled.
My man. Great minds.
John Mayer's coming to the Moody Center on April the 20th of 2022. Let's give away a pair of tickets for those eager listeners. The phone line you need to dial is 656-3776, 656-ESPN. Now, I'm not saying I want to give away the tickets to a diehard John Mayer fan, but I do want to give away the tickets to somebody who's going to have to plan nearly a year in advance. So I would like to think that they know a little bit about John Mayer.
Right.
The new tour is called Sob Rock. I don't know what Sob, S-O-B, is other than
it's very somber music.
Well, it is kind of chill.
Yeah.
But I was talking about it with my wife, and she mentioned that John Mayer had a whole bunch of girlfriends.
Oh, he has. His catalog is up there.
He's dated some women.
I'm not saying they're like whatever. I'm just saying he's dated a few.
Dated a few very well known for decades. This guy has gone up and down the Hollywood list.
Have you seen when you can be chilling with your lady, sit down on the coffee table, pull the guitar out? That's you can't. There's no price on that. If I could play the guitar and sing, I wonder if my wife's listening. Maybe she fell back asleep. My list would be insane. My list would be insane. But like, yo, I wrote a little something for you, baby.
Just do this together.
Just
turn the lights down and sing about
you got your shirt off. You sitting there at the coffee table playing her a song. That
your body is a wonderland.
Come on, dog.
Oh man, yeah,
melting.
I've always been envious of that, but I didn't want to be that guy is also the guy that just shows up to a party carrying a guitar.
He better not.
You know those guys that just kind of show up at a party and like, oh, I got my guitar.
Or I hate the guy that get together that plays the piano. Don't be that guy.
Don't be that. We wanted you to. You're welcome to bring the guitar when I tell you to bring the guitar.
Right.
But don't just show up like, hey.
Don't be that guy.
So let's go to the Kielbasa Bacon phone lines. On line 1, we have whom? Carl, I would put that up on our screen. Who do we have on line 1?
I wish I knew. I was waiting to see what y'all wanted to do before I asked them for any information. Well, let's go with it, right?
Just give me a caller, the first name that introduce them, and let's get them on. I want to give away the tickets to a John Mayer fan.
We'll go ahead and go with line number 3. Who do we got?
Natalie.
Who do we have on line number 3? Who is this? John? Carl, I need you to get the name before you bring them on air.
We'll do.
Cole Yeoman.
Who do we have here?
Cole Yeoman.
Cole Yeoman. Welcome aboard, Cole Yeoman.
Hey, I'm pretty sure Cole won earlier. No. Sorry. Yoel was who won earlier. Okay, never mind. We had a Cole win earlier in the week.
Turn your mic off, Carl. We're trying to talk to Cole. Cole, welcome aboard, man. You a John Mayer fan?
My parents are.
Oh, okay. Maybe trying to win a gift for the parents.
How old are you, Cole? If you don't mind me asking.
24 years old.
Oh, dude, you're not a child. All right.
Oh, yeah.
So, do you know anything about John Mayer? Because this is a quiz of knowledge regarding Mayer to win the tickets. So, before we even dig into this, do you know anything about Mayer?
Not enough to win a quiz.
Cole, I appreciate you. You know the number 656-3776, 656-ESPN. Go to the Googles, do some studying, and call us back tomorrow. Carl, give us another name.
Okay. Jeopardy, cue the Jeopardy music.
Jacob is on line 1.
There we go. Jacob, welcome aboard. You a John Mayer fan?
Yes, sir.
All right. Did John Mayer ever date Vanessa Carlton?
I don't think he did.
Well, actually, he did in the early 2000s. I'm just impressed that you know who Vanessa Carlton is, because that's the name I pulled out. Who is that?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I was born in '95, so I don't know if I was listening to him then.
Fair enough.
Born in '95.
Hey, yeah, what about Cameron Diaz? Did he ever date Cameron Diaz?
No, I don't think he did.
Dude, you're killing me. If I just throw a random name out, it's probably yes. So I'm going to ask you one more time. Did he ever date Jennifer Love Hewitt?
Yeah.
All right,
we got a winner.
We have a winner.
Damn.
I can't serve
Jacob, he was trying to give it to you, dog.
That's a meat pitch.
He grooved one right down the pipe.
That's one you got to send over the left field wall about 400 feet, and you did. Yes, you did, in fact. So what I want you to do is hold on. You're going to go see John Mayer on April the 20th next year at that beautiful brand new Moody Center. I'll call ahead and see if McConaughey will even sit you down. Maybe you'll get to hang with the Minister of Arts there in Austin. Who knows? Hold on tight. Congratulations, you're a winner. We're going to be giving them all week long. Don't forget they'll be giving away today on Blitz with Jason Minix just after 4:00.
Dude, we got 2 guys under 30 that called just right now. We must be doing all right down there in that demo.
I'll tell you, I was telling my wife we were giving away Mayer tickets, and she was upset that I was giving them away. She wanted to go.
You didn't. Well, you're not getting that.
I got a year. Well, look. This is really not a pressing need as we sit and
so
talk.
Your wife's a big Mayer fan.
She was yesterday. I didn't know that she was, but I was playing the sob rock. I wanted to get it. Actually, it's pretty good, by the way.
You like
it? It's not my original cup of tea, but if you throw it into the general mix list, it's a good music by the pool. I can give you that. I think it'll be fine with a cold beer beside you. Day 4 in the books. How do you feel about yourself today, Rudy?
Oh man, I feel like we're champs. I feel like champions, man. I feel great. This is going smoother than I thought. How do you feel?
I'm pretty good. Dealing with some news. We'll pull the curtain back. We're headed to the AA Best Bail Bonds Dallas Cowboy training camp coverage next week. We got an email from our casa, our Airbnb, that the owner has canceled us. So I'm going to spend the next couple of hours trying to find a tent, a couple of sleeping bags, so that we can stay there in Oxnard and give you all the Dallas Cowboy training camp coverage that you absolutely deserve. Yeah, we're going to have to find a new place to stay.
I'm not against the floor. I'm a savage. Bring the show full. I'm sure you and Jason are great at that. Y'all
we're gonna get a hold of Jerry, see if he's got some extra space.
Jerry, we can get on that big old bus he got
in that presidential suite. Absolutely. Hey, thanks for hanging with us here at R&R in the morning. There will be no halftime. Texas Rangers will be coming on at noon, and don't forget, go to Slackers at North Star locale. We'll be there at 4 with Jason Minix and the Blitz.
Can you tell me?
Cowboys football is not a gentle game. Cowboys football is not soft. Cowboys football is war. Just don't use that helmet as a weapon. When you want total Cowboys football coverage, get it here on the home of the Dallas Cowboys radio network. This is San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Don't let pain keep you from doing the things you love. I'm Dr. Jason Garrett from Arasti. At Arasti, we fix pain fast. Whether you've been living with chronic and nagging pain for years, or if you've recently experienced an injury, our goal is to get you out of pain as quickly as possible. Arasti is completely natural and non-invasive. Plus, Arasti accepts most insurance plans. There's a location near you. Visit Arasti.com. That's AIRROSTI.com. Arasti, we fix pain fast.
If an education can help you prepare for a career change, here's an opportunity. University of Phoenix is awarding up to $1 million in new scholarships this month. You could earn between $2,000 and $3,000 in a non-cash tuition scholarship. See which one you may qualify for at phoenix.edu.
Golfers, it's time to tee it up at Edwin Watts Golf Shops for the biggest Callaway trade-in event of the year. Starting this Thursday through Sunday, bring in any of your old clubs and receive a 75% trade-in bonus towards new Apex irons and Epic woods. Both the Apex and Epic families are designed with artificial intelligence for faster ball speeds. Go to worldwidegolfshops.com or call the store nearest you to schedule your free custom fitting today. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee. If
you're living with chronic joint pain in your knees, hips, lower back, and shoulders, I've got exciting news for you.
Emmett Smith, all-time rushing leader and Hall of Famer.
Now you can get relief from pain without harmful medications and surgery. Call my guys at